Well, as always, in FIFA esports, lots of surprises on day one. Yesterday, here at the FIFAe Club World Cup Finals, which this year are taking place in Riyadh as part of the Gamers 8 Festival. Okay, well, I'm here to give you a recap of what happened yesterday from the players' area. Look who's over there, defending champion Tuga. We're not going to dwell on him just yet because we'll see him later on this afternoon. Let's talk then about Group A, and it was the local side, ex-Raptors, Twisted Mind. They had such a dominant display, and they also brought the loudest fans I have ever seen in an esports arena. They were going wild. Let's move on then to Group B. Napoli Esports, they came under little pressure in their group, so looking forward to seeing them later on today. The same has to also be said in Group C. RB Leipzig, they topped the table there with a dominant display, and it actually was Anders. He said, when he was speaking to Spencer, he said that they are the favourites for this event. Do you agree? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we, in a few days' time. Moving on to Group D, for me, that's the closest group of the tournament so far. The top four are only separated by 4 points. Lots still to play for. That was just day one. 3 more days still to go. Yes, well, we get to do it all again, don't we? Then on day 2 of the FIFAe Club World Cup, kicking off this morning with Groups A and B. Round robin again. We had home fixtures yesterday, away today. Well, joining me in the studio then we have Brandon Smith, Alex B, and referee Richard Buckley is in the house, liking the outfit. I'm going to give you the first job of the day. Have you got your coin here?
I have indeed.
Right.
I've done a lot of things.
Go on.
I've hosted, I've commentated, I've interviewed, I've even played on occasion, but I've never refereed,
Well,
so I might win in later.
You're about to. So, heads is Brandon, tails Alex, who doesn't have to go through the standings, okay?
Ready?
Ready? What is it?
Heads.
Heads.
Pretty swift esports, up you go.
I'll pay you a bit later for that one, yeah.
Standings, guys. Alex is doing it because he won.
That is it, yeah, that is going to be it in me indeed. Group A, we saw Raptors, the home team, absolutely on fire yesterday. The crowd were loving it. They're on 13 points. Team Footwiz, Nick Sneb and Ethan. Having a strong start, losing their last 2 games though, not picking up those results. They had 9 points altogether. FC Basel, the team as well, joining them. Fnatic, we saw a slow start from Diogo and Tex on 7 points. YMCA 3 and Hollywood, Mark 11 and Negatron, not the start that they should wish for. But for Group B, Napoli Esports, one of the favourites, as possibly the underdog, see themselves top of that group with 11 points. Ninjas in Pyjamas, Team Hullet on 7, along with Pro MX Esports. Team Exceed, Oberon and Just Virgil. We had them down as one of the favourites for that group. Right now, they've got a lot of work to find their way to the top. And Essentials Gaming and JDT GBX Esports just outside that all-important top 4, with them sat in 5th and 6th.
Yeah, well, I can't wait. Thank you for that. I love that. He's going to get the job every single time
Beautiful.
now, referee over here. I love that ex-Raptors were really bringing the house down, weren't they? I think a couple of fans are coming in as well, ready to make some noise today. Napoli as well, like I mentioned. Great form yesterday, still undefeated. Let's have a look then who's playing who in round 6, Group A. Hollywood, bottom of the table, Alex said, on Footwiz. Basel, Fnatic, they need a big day. YMCA and ex-Raptors. Let's have a look then in Group B as well. Who's playing who up first today? So Exceed, GBX, Napoli, Team Ninjas in Pyjamas, that's top of the table clash there, and Essentials and Pro MX. Okay, quick word Brandon, then before we get to the players, are we going to see the two teams topping the table still at the end of today? Quick word, it's inhaling breath there.
Yes, Group A, yes. Group B, no.
Oh, who?
Napoli.
We'll
Sorry,
go-
other way around.
Forget
Forget
honestly,
it. What I was going to say was, sorry, Napoli, I believe, will continue with Group B. Group A will change. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, if you understood what he said, then well done you. Right, we've spoke about the players, it's time to meet them here from Groups A and B. Well, Team McSee then coming out into the arena led by Oberon, just Virgil is his new partner, Hollywood as well. Coach behind him there. Pro MX Esports, bit of work to do, Alex, for them on day 2 here to get themselves in the top 4 position.
Yeah, I think they're feeling confident enough though to get that top 4, as we do see Mark and Negatron with Hollywood. They have not had that start they should have wished for. Mark obviously qualified for all 3 events for this next few weeks. Disappointing day 1. We'll see if they can do better on day 2.
Yeah, just taking their seats here in the arena. Oh, cheers then as the local lads enter the arena on day 2. Expecting a bit louder cheers than that later on, Brandon, surely.
Yeah, well, what we've heard as well from the Saudi locals that there's going to be more and more fans building up, and we were joking yesterday, but imagine if they do get to a really late stage in the tournament, we're going to have a full house here, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I hope so, and I'm still counting on referee Richard to go and do some chants, but you might have to get your red card out. They might get a bit rowdy, mightn't they?
I'll be in there, don't worry about that.
Okay, well, the teams are all coming in then, taking their seats. Remember, we said there's 6 in each group. There's 12 teams here. At the end of today, we will lose 2 from each group. Only the top 4 do go through, as we see YMCA sit down there. They're looking for those top 4 positions. Currently not in it, but you never know what happens after a long day 2 here at the FIFAe Club World Cup.
Seems ages ago since we watched Group A and B. It's so long ago since I watched these teams in action.
Fnatic, they've got a lot of work to do, haven't we? We spoke about them a lot
Turned it
yesterday.
around, though, didn't they, at the end? A little bit.
Turned it around a little bit at the end, but they kind of said they didn't have the best day. And Tex, actually, when he was chatting to Spen, said, again, they don't think they're going to get to the final.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, but then he sort of tried to backtrack it, didn't he, at the end of the day? I mean, as Rich was saying, it could have been a disastrous day 1, but luckily enough they turned it around. But really big result against Footwiz, we must add.
Yeah, big result. Looking for another big result to start their day here. Everyone's just sorting themselves out. Ready, I can never get this one right. JDT GBX Esports. Again, we heard a lot from them, didn't we? The guys from Malaysia yesterday. They were second in their group, actually, this time last year in 2022. Having a bit more of a tougher time this time out.
Yeah, they made it through to the knockouts last year and they were defeated by SAF, obviously the eventual runners-up. I'm sure they will be very disappointed with where they're at right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm looking for him. I can't see him. I believe he's down there. Spencer is with Napoli.
Yes, Rachel, thank you very much. I'm here with Luca from Napoli. There's a reason I picked Napoli to talk to first. They had a really good first day. You're one of only 5 teams who are unbeaten so far, which is great. You feeling confident?
Yeah, we are feeling very confident because we made a great day 1 and we hope to continue like this.
Have you got a points target for today? You're sitting on 11 points right now. You probably only need 1 or 2 to guarantee qualification, but how many are you hoping for?
We are hoping to win every game, then after game by game we will try to make a better game.
Now I believe you're going up against the Ninjas in Pyjamas Team Hullet guys in your first game. Obviously you played them once already yesterday, but what is your plan for this match?
Yesterday we won, today is another day, so we will try to repeat what we did yesterday.
Okay, well, best of luck to you. I'll let you get in position. Really big game, this game coming up, because it is probably more important for the guys from Ninjas in Pyjamas, you'd have to agree. And we're going to hear from them now, because Mike is actually standing by with them. He's joined me on the interviews today. So, Mike, what are we saying? What's the mood over there like?
Oh, thank you so much, Spencer. Thus far, they've been talking to Renzo. I see Renzo's with a GoPro, which I want to say is new. I feel like I haven't seen that. I don't know where he's creating content. Everybody's got a serious vibe here. And I'll start out with you, Alito. Yesterday, you guys created a lot of chances. Did maybe convert some of those chances, some big moments. What was the takeaway? With 7 points, you're still in a good position.
Yeah, decent position, second overall. Still very tight in the group though, so still a lot to fight for, and hopefully we can just put the chances away today. That's the goal.
Perfect. And Renzo, because I have you over here, I actually want to ask you, what did you go over with the boys after yesterday? A lot of times we don't get to talk to you that much.
Well, obviously it was, like you said, we missed a lot of chances, and the fact that we actually played well and creating those chances just gave pretty much everybody confidence, but you could tell, like, between the games we were losing confidence with the chance conversion, and we talked literally just not about the gameplay, but just as human beings to each other, and said, like, we're not going to do this anymore. We're just going to keep confidence in each other, because Levi was sometimes reacting, Ola was sometimes reacting. At some point, Ola, like, turned around and asked me, what should I even do now anymore? I said, we're not going to do like that. We're just going to throw it all out there. And trust me, today will be much better.
And I've gotten comfortable now. I've joined Renzo. One more follow-up question. Any tactical changes going into day two?
Maybe, but nah, they won't notice that now. We're actually going to start a different formation now against Napoli, because they have a certain way of playing with a lot of crosses. So we try to go with 4-3-2-1 now instead of the 5-4-1. But apart from that, we're just going to stick to the plan. But just for Napoli, we're going to see what happens in the first 30 minutes. And hopefully it goes to plan. And if not, we're always going to switch back to our formation that we're comfortable with.
Perfect. So we've heard from Renzo, we've heard from the players, and everybody's ready to get underway. So back to Rachel and the boys.
Thanks so much, Mike and Spen. Yeah, it's getting loud in here. Exactly how we like it as we kick off shortly with round six. A couple of them already started kicking off. Just going to pick up from Team Mullet Ninjas in Pyjamas before we get into these boys. Ololito yesterday on Twitter said 7 out of 15 points in day one. Second place, played good but didn't score up chances. And that's kind of what he alluded to with Mike as well. And Renzo changing things up against table toppers Napoli. They lost yesterday as well, didn't they? 3-2 to those guys. So would like to get their own back, wouldn't they, I guess, today?
It's something as well for the coach. When you're creating plenty of chances, you can have that confidence in one another. It's so hard to keep that going when you know you're creating the chances and not putting them away. Renzo taking it right with just saying, let's just get those chances again.
Yeah, well, there's been goals already. We said about a team that needs to start well today. Look no further than the Aussies. It's Hollywood. Still looking for that first win. They lead Team Footballers by a 1-0, 6 minutes in. A very important start for Mark and Ain Azar.
This is another important fixture, Richard, isn't it? We've been talking this one up.
Sort of a mid-table clash, to be honest. Footwiz obviously and Raptors leading the pack in this group, but both Fnatic and Basel have been really sort of established, but also disappointing. Basel started great and then sort of petered out towards the end. Fnatic, it took them 3 games to get anything really clicking in the final third. I would expect Fnatic to be better than yesterday. They can't perform at that same level again. If they do, they will be grouped, and more than likely they won't make it through, which will be a disastrous performance in all honesty.
Well, someone else had an awful start yesterday. It's not looking good again for them. The Italians, I know, a very good friend of mine, Richard Buckley, thought they might get through top of the group. It's not looking that good, is it? The Malaysian side, who are yet to pick up a win in Group B. Leader Obrun and Virgil by a 1-0. Not great there.
Spoke to Obrun this morning, actually. Spent a bit of time with him in the hotel lobby. Just said, drew too many games, Richard. We just weren't converting. Like we can't afford to draw. We'll go out if we keep on drawing. So I expect to see a little bit more aggressive style of play from them as Basel come forward here.
Is that a bit of naivety for XE? They're kind of thinking, let's get a few draws on day one, give us a few points, and then suddenly day two comes at you thick and fast and you need a lot more.
I think for me, it's probably they're not used to playing one leg. Like they're so used to playing 2 legs and taking the time of the game. Maybe you draw that first game and then you win the second leg and you win the tie. Here, you draw, you're on to the next game and you're playing against someone else.
Yeah, you've got to learn from your mistakes quickly. Alex, things happening in your game?
We have got a goal for Team Mullet Ninjas in Pyjamas. You see Van Persie utilising that power shot and the green time just to ensure it Olito and Levy, they said they weren't creating that many chances and putting them away. And just go with that outside the box finish. Good start for them.
Brandon, I think we've got another goal for a underdog team in one of our exciting matchups.
Yeah, rock bottom of Group A, they were, Rachel, yesterday. I don't know what they had for breakfast this morning here in Saudi Arabia, but Hollywood leads 2-0, and you can hear some noise in the background as well. You can probably guess which way the goal has gone in the Raptors matchup.
Yeah, just before I get to it, that's pretty shocking, to be honest. I didn't see Hollywood turning this around. As you see smiles all around, I think it only means one thing, and that's a Raptors goal. We'll see it soon. But I mean, Hollywood, this is what they need to do. They're rock bottom, they have to pick up results.
Yeah, especially against a team of Footwiz as well, who they kind of went off slow yesterday, picking up those losses. The last thing that Ethan and Nixon would have wanted was to come into that and find themselves 2-0 down against a team that are bottom of the group right now. But Mark and Negatron saying, we're not going down without a fight. We're happy with that. As we do see that goal go in from Raptors, the crowd very happy to see that. The low-driven Mbappe, beautiful start for them.
They're not slowing up at all.
I'm going to be honest, Richard, I thought maybe they'll slow down a little bit, but they've just come out and said, yeah, we're here to carry on playing again and get that crowd roaring.
Just on that one as well, sorry to interrupt for Footwiz, there might be a point today when they look back and see how important those 9 points were yesterday, those 3 wins, if they kick off like they are right now.
It seems to me a little bit like maybe yesterday, the last 2 matches are playing on their minds slightly. They ended it on a low, 2 losses after their 3 wins, and maybe that could affect them as we get another goal then in a big game for Exceed and JDT.
Yeah, a chance here just brewing for Fnatic. It's not been an end-to-end opening exchange with Basel. Both teams struggling to convert at this current moment. Every other game has got a goal in it so far, other than the one that we're watching as our featured match. And this was the second goal for JDT GBX Esports. Exceed struggling, and if they carry on, they're getting grouped.
Oberon said they're just drawing too many games. They're going the other way at the minute. They're not going the right way that they want to. Basel just pinging that one around against Fnatic.
I know they've not had a great point haul, but I've been very impressed with the Malaysian duo, JDT GBX Esports. They've come into this tournament, and I think that whenever you face against teams who maybe you're not that familiar with, you might think this could be an easy 3 points. Nobody really has been an easy 3 points in this entire tournament so far. Everyone's put up a fight. We've not seen a lot of huge goal swings where a 6 or a 7-0. Every team has seemed competitive, and I think that's something different from last year. Last year we saw quite a couple of real big goal swings.
Yeah.
And just on that as well, to back up Rich's point, yes, they haven't won a game, but they didn't lose 5.
Nope.
They did draw 3 games yesterday. I know that's
it kept them in the hunt as well.
It did with how Group B did conclude, but as we say, it's a bit of a mouthful. But JDT GBX currently looking for their first win.
Well, it was similar again, just continuing on that with Team Flash, wasn't it, in Group D? We said they possibly would be the team that might be unlucky not to get a win, and they got one yesterday, which was great to see. So none of the teams sitting on 0 points after day one.
The thing is as well, you're playing one leg of FIFA. It's one game. So when you get that 2-0 lead right now, which JDT GBX Esports have over Team Exceed, you've just got to go get to half time, and then so we've got 45 minutes and we're on our way to our first 3 points.
Speaking of half time, we're about to get into it with this Basel and Fnatic game. Just this last attack here for Basel. Will they make it count? No, they will not. You're speaking, I know we're talking about Group B a little bit, we're watching Group A action here, but that win, they're on 3 points, 3 draws, puts them on to 6 points. If results go their way, XE could find themselves bottom with 4 games to play.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen in a lot of these matches now as well. Fnatic, they're on 7 points. They'd get 8, but then so would Basel. So it'd still be that 2 goal,
to win game.
2 point lead. They just need a 3-pointer to kick off the day and kick off their confidence.
And you have to say, if there's a team they have to beat, this game now, everyone else in the group has picked up more points in day one. And
well, obviously Essentials as well were down there, Crow MX drawing as it currently stands, so you might get to a point where there's 4 teams on 6 points in Group B.
Well, in Hollywood, as it stands, as they go into half-time as well, they are picking up 3 points, and YMCA, who are just above them, at the moment get none. Long way to go. The table is going to turn on its head, I believe, today, and that's maybe why Brandon got a little bit tongue-tied at the top of the show because he thought that, he just couldn't articulate it.
Yeah, well, it's probably a bit of a favouritism from me for Napoli Sports, because I did say they were top Group B. Yesterday they ended up there. And look, I think the one thing we have to look at with this duo, individually, haven't done much. I think they're both ranked quite low in Europe, 20th or so around that area, the two Italian players, but they've just put all their energy into this E-Club World Cup. That was one of the goals that we missed off screen.
Went
that
silent
was why
in the arena.
MCA Esports. They're still yet to pick up a winning Group A, but they're on the right path to at least pick up some more points.
And that hurts Hollywood a little bit. If they get a point there, Hollywood actually are level with them. Hollywood want YMCA to lose, I suspect.
I mean, also as well, in Group A, whoever wins the match that we're watching now sort of pulls away from the rest of the pack. Like, you start to create a little bit of distance there. Fnatic lose this match against Basel, they're in it. Like, they're fighting for fourth, they're fighting for third. Whoever wins this, you start to put just a little bit of distance. But
yeah,
points are running out to play for as well.
Yeah, we want a big result, don't we, in that matchup either way, just to make the table pretty exciting. Well, back on the Hollywood Team Footwiz. Team Footwiz, there we go. Back in it, Richard.
Big goal, just after half-time. Who knows what Denman was speaking at half-time, but they've come out firing in that second half.
That's when it hurts a bit more as well, doesn't it? You know, you've had 45 minutes played, you've got this 2-goal cushion, then suddenly whistle blows again.
Different game.
And you're on the back foot.
Completely different game. And now really I'd be intrigued with Hollywood and Footwiz. Is this where maybe a little bit of nerves come in? Because Hollywood know how big of a 3 points this is. For Footwiz, a draw, good result. A win, even better. Hollywood, it's like, oh my God, we cannot choke this. We cannot let these 3 points go.
The thing is, at half-time, the conversation is, we're doing well, let's keep it up, let's carry on doing what they're doing. You go 3 minutes in and it's now 2-1. Straight away, you know you've got that full second half to go of you just having attack after attack against you. Can you defend it? Mark, we know he's got the quality to do it. Negatron, runner-up as well during the E-League over in Australia. He has that. But on this stage here, on the world stage, have they both got the ability for them to see that through?
Well, we have some action then happening in this GBX, I'm going to go with, taking on Team Exceed. Well, we're talking about Team Exceed needed something. It's taken 57 minutes to find that something. 1 goal back, 2-1 now between those two teams. This is our feature matchup, still nothing broken. 65 minutes on the clock. I'm looking behind. Can I see any emotions being played out by either of the teams? Oh, no. Couldn't make anything from that, Alex.
I got a little bit excited then. I thought, sent the defender to the shop to reverse Elastico, but thankfully enough for Fnatic, Tex Diogo just getting that last ditch tackle in, saying we'll regroup on that. It's been a slow start again from Fnatic.
Slow start, they really don't need that, do they? I thought they would have spoken to each other yesterday, but I don't know, maybe they're a bit too relaxed. Maybe I'm reading into that interview a little bit blasé about the whole thing. This, for a lot of players, is their final competition of the year. If it doesn't go well early on, it just seems like, hate that they don't care, but they give us that perception they don't care. Is that trying to give them a get out of jail card?
Potentially, yes. Team like Ginger Pyjamas getting that second goal. For me, with Fnatic, everyone who plays against Fnatic, that's their biggest game.
Yeah.
So they have to, if Fnatic don't play a 9 out of 10, more than likely points will be decided. If they play a 10 out of 10, they probably beat 95% of the clubs here. But it's really hard to play at a 9 out of 10 every single game. Like, no one does it.
It's hard to say at that top level.
And the one thing they have on top of that point from Richard is, look, they might have had a great day yesterday, 7 points from 15, but it's still a 4-point gap on the team that's below them. So even though it took them a while to get going, round 4 was when they picked up their first real win, they were quite fortunate of just the drop down from 4th place to 5th as we jump across to ex-Raptors Twisted Minds, who have already got these guys off their feet. They were 1-0 up in the game, then it was YMCA that equalised on the stroke of half-time. Kylian Mbappe putting the Saudi side back in front.
The crowd filled up quite quickly.
It did, didn't it? We got very much in the games, Alex. We didn't even see them sneak into the arena here. But they do change the dynamics for every team.
I just want to give credit here. Team Hullet Ninjas in Pyjamas. Renzo said before this game that they were going to change that 4-2-3-1 to deal with that 5 at the back. And what it means is the left attacking mid and right attacking mid have to be manually pulled back to defend. Then, when you look to break, you can try and isolate on those 3 centre-backs. Gives you the ability to go for those deep crosses. And for now, Olito and Levi David, that's how they found that goal. And they're on the way to a very, very vital 3 points to start this day off for them.
Yeah, and it's one of those as well. The fact that I was mentioning, good save there. The fact that I was mentioning the fact that they lost to this team yesterday. For some, not maybe as the mature teams would it play on their mind, not for a team like Ninjas in Pyjamas. Well, there's a massive goal coming your way right now then.
The deadline, the deadlock, nearly the deadline of the game finally broken, and it's gone to the black and orange of Fnatic. It's Sami Eto'o in the end to get that goal. You've been watching this game for a little while, Brandon, but it's been real tight.
It has, and look, I think the bigger picture on that, Richard, is that one result puts Fnatic in a completely different position on the table, puts them into 3rd. And already, what a start that is to day 2. Just some updates across the board. Hollywood are still leading Team FUTWIZ, as you can see, by 2-1. This will be their first win in the tournament here at the FIFAe Club World Cup. They've got 10 minutes to hold on to this one as FUTWIZ are just going to pepper their goal. Just got to try and see this one out.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say something a little bit crazy.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
If Hollywood win this game,
they're going through?
I think they get 10 out of 12 points today.
What, who are they knocking out? Basel?
10 out of the next 12.
Are they going through or
yeah, they'll
Basel?
go through. They'll go through.
Basel won't?
Yes.
And neither will YMCA?
Correct.
You're saying 13 points?
13-point haul today.
Well, we saw last year, Mark, do it with Direwolves. They managed to just scrape through and get into that knockout stages. Didn't go too well for them after that point. You think they're going to do it again?
Just confidence players.
He's confidently said it as well, so someone's clipping that up on camera. If it doesn't happen, the referee here, well, he's getting a red card. We're sending him out of here. Right, back to what's happening, Rich. This Basel game, 10 minutes left on this for them to get a point.
Chance, just on the edge of the box. Basel starting to come forward in numbers. Fnatic defending well at this current juncture, but there's not long left to go at all. This would be just, I think you've alluded to it already with the table implications, confidence-wise as well for Fnatic to win your opening game, to get points on the table, and potentially to seal the game right here. Extra pass into the back stick, just about squeezes over the line out.
The goalkeeper movement there nearly saved it. You're thinking Tex Diogo, have they not took that chance? But fortunately enough for them, they see it trickle over the line.
Just realised something here. This win from Raptors Twisted will give them a 7-point lead on 2nd place. Because FUTWIZ aren't going to win this game if it stays as it is right now. Fnatic beat Basel, they go to 9. Raptors Twisted go to 16 points.
Serious.
Just put the controller down, you're through.
When you get to that then, Brandon, that they're safe, pretty much at the top of the table, then do they look for seeding in the next round? Do you start thinking about that, or do you?
I think right now they're just up for playing anyone.
They've got 3 players listed on their roster. They haven't bought their 3rd, though, have they?
No, I don't believe so. It looks
So
like Abu Makar and Abu Fwazi are the main 2.
So they wouldn't sub anyone in. I thought they could have a little bit of a break and just see if they've got a best different pairing.
Give the fans something to enjoy. Try and get a record points total. Just go and try and beat everyone.
Invite a fan down.
Invite Richard down.
I'll go play. I'll stand behind you.
Well, the games then are almost coming to a conclusion in round 6. Our 2nd day, if you are joining us, of the round robin.
Speaking of Group B, just very quickly on that TGNOP result, that's big.
You talk about Group B, we've not seen it, but JDT GBX Esports are now 4-1 up against Team Exceed. They have put them to the sword. And
well, that's going to finish like that, isn't it?
I've said this word a little bit already this afternoon. Confidence, momentum. You are rock bottom if you're Team Exceed right now.
Well, actually, that means that they're all on 6 points. Essentials as well. They needed a result there, because going into this, it was Essentials 6, Exceed 6, and GBX 3.
Huge tackle at the back there for Fnatic. It's starting to develop that attack, launches it long. Are they going to try and get another attack, or is it just going to be game over? That tackle comes in. Fnatic, 3 points on the board, 2-0 victory puts them in a relatively comfortable position in this group, but is anything comfortable in Group A? I don't think it is.
Not when we've still got 4 matches to play, Rich. I think we've got a long way to go, and it will start to get really exciting when we get into the 4th and 5th round of today. That's when things will start heating up. That's 9 and 10 though for you guys at home. So we're just seeing this one out. Ninjas in Pyjamas picking up a really, really big 3 points to start their second day.
The thing is, when you have players like Levi Reed, Ito, Fnatic, we saw there, Tex and Diogo, we know their ability. When you can just start off with those 3 points, put that game to bed against Napoli Esports, top of that group, you can just see them pushing on from this and just growing with confidence game after game after game.
3-1 as well, Alex, there, just finish out. He just stirs the pot, doesn't he, Levy?
Ito letting us know about it as well.
Levy is very much letting us know about that. I love it when they give us a little bit of an insight into their personality, just a little bit of a pot stirring from Levy there as he gets 3 goals for Ninjas in Pyjamas, 3 points as well. That's pretty good for them. Carl United, let's get it Fnatic. He's obviously supporting Tex and Diogo, so they will love to hear the support from back home. Okay, we're going to have a little look then at what happened in Group A. Fnatic then. Nicely done. Do you know what that takes them to? Second. 10 points. Big move there, Brandon.
Ridiculous. I mean, look how one game changes everything. I mean, more importantly, looking at Group B now, that result and people dropping points and losing, Napoli will still remain sort of 11, but TGN people, as you said, will go into that second place with 10. Suddenly, that group starts to move. GPX, they get their first win. They're on 6 now. I think the storyline is Exceed. Are Exceed going to turn on? Are they going to turn up here in Saudi Arabia, or is it going to be a case of, unfortunately, it's an E-Club World Cup to completely forget about?
Yeah, exactly. I was just seeing we got the result actually for the Essentials Chromex. It was 0-0.
I think for a long time, yeah.
I think it stayed as that, so they got no points. So we now have 6 points for all 3 teams at the bottom of that table. That is nutty. Spen, let's talk about FUTWIZ then. Are you with them? Are you going to get a word of them?
Indeed, Rachel. Yes, thank you very much. I am here in the FUTWIZ camp. Guys, we spoke before the action yesterday, or just at the start of it, after you started very well yesterday, 3 wins, WWW, but now we've had 3 losses. So a complete turn, 180 turn in your form. What do you put it down to, Ethan?
It's just sadly just meant the game, like the way we want to play. Like we just want to play attacking FIFA. Sometimes a 5-1 will catch us out. If we can see the little dodgy bounce, it goes against us really hard. So I don't know. As soon as we start clicking again, we'll be fine. It won't be a problem. So it's just about keeping confident.
Well, Nixon, the good news is that you had such a good start, get those 9 points early. The reality is you don't need many more to guarantee progression. How many do you think you need?
I'm not too sure. I don't know what else is going on with other games, but I'd say about 13 points should get us through top 4 going off last year's results. So that's the aim right now, and then we'll sort it all out for knockouts, hopefully.
Yeah, you're sitting 3rd right now, so you've got Raptors in 16, in lead with 16 points. They're looking very strong. Fnatic with 10 now. They just overtook you guys because they got their 3rd win in a row. And then you guys are level with Basel on 9 points. So that Basel game could be a big one.
Yeah, it could be a big one, especially now. I think we play them again now, so very, very important to at least get a draw, because I think we'll be on a head-to-head then as well. So any kind of positive result will help us in this tournament.
Okay, best of luck, guys. That's a massive game coming up when they play Basel, because exactly what Ethan said there. You got the head-to-head. You got the fact that they're both sitting in 3rd, joint 3rd, which essentially is the cut-off to get out the group. The big news is, though, Mike's over with the guys from Team Hollywood, who just got a big first win. They needed it. They got it against the FUTWIZ guys. Mike, what's the mood like over there?
Definitely the mood is hopeful. I haven't been down here just yet. I'm joined by Mark and Nageti. And I guess the first question, how does it feel to get a result? Because yesterday it was a real struggle.
It feels good. Yesterday I feel like we didn't even play that bad. We just a few mistakes on the back line from both of us that cost us. We played well. We did it again today, and we got the result in the first game.
And we might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but everybody's calculating. I'm sure you've talked about it. How many points do you think you're going to need to get out of this group?
I think 12 or 13. So we need to win about 4 out of 5. That's 1 down. So miracles can happen. Hopefully it happens for us today.
You heard that. I'm thinking 13 points. If you want my input, 13 points to get the job done. And then to send this off as you go into future games here, is there anything that you guys changed heading into day number 2? Because obviously yesterday didn't work. You said you didn't play that bad, but you know how it goes. Fine margins in competitive FIFA.
Yeah, so yesterday FUTWIZ, for example, they played 4-4-2 and kept abusing the wings. We played 4-3-2-1. We couldn't really score or defend. So this year, we scored 2 goals early, then went 4-4-2, and I was able to defend against them.
So we've heard from Hollywood. I've also joined the pod. I'm joining everyone's pod, I think, today. All the matches are getting set up. I'm going to send this back to Rachel. I'm looking forward to how this bracket or how this group actually unfolds.
Mike, wait there. What? I thought you said yesterday 9 points. Now, definitely 13 points gets you through.
13 for this group. I'm telling you, someone's going to
sorry,
scoot through with 10 or 11
specific.
points.
I didn't
Watch.
know that.
This group.
You didn't make yourself clear. Specific
I'm
to
looking
groups.
at Rachel over there. We'll see. Rachel just wants to give me something. Give me a little kickback. It's okay. Just wait till the end of the day.
Oh! Don't like that. Mike there, calling me out waiting till the end of the day. What, is he going to tell me off the screen, is he? Anyway, Mike there, he just makes up, doesn't he? Anything that he thinks is acceptable. Anyway, let's have a look at these tables after 6 rounds. So we're obviously had some interviews there, didn't we, from Group A. FUTWIZ, they weren't too worried just yet. They wanted to get back in their rhythm, Ethan was saying. They want to play their attacking football, haven't maybe been able to do that today. Ex-Raptors still 16, and we were chatting about Hollywood though. That was the story. 4 points. They need to win the next 3 or so, Rich.
Yeah, they're also both Hollywood and YMCA are in an awful position because they need to beat people who's going to be playing for draws as well. Like, you'll start doing the maths. If I get a draw here, I'm through. So then you're playing against defensive blocks, defensive teams that it's just really tough. On the other side of it, Group B, one word, mixy. Mixy group. Napoli, Team Holy Ninja in pyjamas. Like, throw a dartboard and you'll tell me who's going through. I could not tell you right now. It's up in the air. Who fancies it?
3 teams on 6 points at the bottom. I don't think I've seen a group as close as that in the last couple of years, Brandon. I'm looking at you.
No,
Are you?
It certainly is a mixy group. I think the one thing that's so key about that, if that 0-0 didn't happen, it'd be a completely different group. But somehow Exceed are still, and GBX are still all in the hunt for a 4th place, even 3rd.
I wouldn't have thought it was XC at the bottom. You might have gone Essentials or GBX, Alex.
I had Exceed to go down and win that group.
I win the group as well.
So right now, it's not looking good for any Exceed fans. But I think as well, going into it, this next game for Exceed, if they don't get a win here, they are going to be looking at each other and going, are we going to find ourselves in a really sticky scenario? Yes, they're at bottom at the minute, joint six on 6 points, I should say. They don't pick up a result up in this next game, it's going to get a little bit shaky.
When do you change things around dramatically if you're on the back foot like Exceed? Do you do it now on 7 game or the 8th game?
As crazy as it sounds, I don't know if you do.
You don't at all?
I think they're playing and they're drawing games. Maybe you go, Hollywood has to go, Hollywood the coach, not Hollywood the team. Guys, we've got to go more attacking, we've got to put more bodies forward, but I don't think you make drastic changes, a player or I won't even say a formation, maybe more a mental change. Like, give them the confidence to go and express themselves.
Well, let's see if they do change anything up. We're talking about the people at the bottom of the table that Exceed, of course, YMCA and Hollywood in particular. Well, we've kicked off then, round 7, Ninjas in Pyjamas off that great win there. They just defeated FUTWIZ a little bit earlier. They're taking on Crow MX then in this first matchup. Sorry, that was Napoli they defeated in the first game. Taking on Crow MX. We can just let this one breathe a little bit here, but we've got some noise in the arena. That means one thing, we can see it, can't we, ex-Raptors? There is no stopping them today. I'm not going to repeat the shouts in case I'm not allowed to, but they are chanting over there. That's against Fnatic.
This group is, at this current moment, being dominated. I didn't see this happening. I really didn't. I didn't see one team pulling away in this fashion in Group A. And if you'd asked me who it was, I'd probably said FUTWIZ or Fnatic.
It's ridiculous because if you look at Raptors Twisted in general, it's the first time they've both played in the Club World Cup Grand Finals. Abu Fazi, played in that Team of the Season Cup last year, and who he beat to qualify for that tournament was Abu Makka, who was on a completely different team. I think it was XO Esports. A year on now, they're teammates, and they're absolutely crushing it this time round. There has been another goal that has gone in a handful of games, in fact. Let's see where we'll go next.
I would say let's try and go to the game FUTWIZ. YMCA, it's not gone the way you would maybe think it would.
No, it certainly hasn't. Before we get there, let's go to GBX very quickly. You just seem like they're on a fine form, and they love beating Italian teams, apparently, on day 2. They beat Exceed, now looking to take down another team as well.
This is what I was mentioning here, Alex. This is what FitWiz were saying they wanted to go and be able to go more attacking. They've just gone down 1 goal to nil against a team we wouldn't expect them to.
Yeah, YMCA looking for that vital win that they need in that group. Petr Cech just at that back stick, when you isolate up against that fullback, he's got that leap, he's got the height, he's got the strength, the green time as well, just to ensure that header. A fantastic start for YMCA as we move back over to the Fnatic Raptors game, where I was going to say before the game, did Fnatic start off strong? We saw them in game 1 looking good, but Raptors said no, we're going to carry on our fine form. And it's quite funny now, because they are literally just playing to just have fun. They're going to top that group.
And what's going to be very important for the rest of the teams in Group A now is you sort of look at that Raptors game and go, not really important. Let's beat everyone else. We need to get points off the other teams because they're clear. If you could nick a point against Raptors, fantastic. But it's those teams around you that are really important. And just got to show that consistency in the Club World Cup has gone out the window. Team Hunt Ninja Pyjamas, great performance last game, 1-0 down against Crow MX Esports.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? We just saw that one go in live. As we return to this Fnatic game as well, lots of goals going in now, so we are trying to keep abreast of them all. Let's just stay on, go back to this one where we got the goal a short while ago.
That's Napoli finding their feet after losing their first opening game to TG NIP. And I'll tell you what, there is an even bigger story unfolding. If we can get over to it in Group A, Team FutWiz, YMCA, 24 minutes in against a team that has never played in the E-Club World Cup before, has not won a game in the E-Club World Cup, beating Team FutWiz. They spoke about the mental side of the game potentially for Team FutWiz. They're in a tactical change now. They're ripping up the scripts and they've got to do something because they're 2-0 down in 25 minutes.
Speaking of being 2-0 down, that's what Fnatic are right now. Against Raptors, Twisted Minds, 2-0 up inside 30.
The crowd's going wild in here, and we're going to stay on these because Team FutWiz, I'd like to get back in that one and see if they can make a comeback. They're still in a pause, they're changing some tactics. Still on 4-4-2 here though. Rich, what do you think they need to do?
I'm not sure what they need to do. The question I've got for you, Al, YMCA play a very, very direct Route 1 style of play. You saw the goal that they conceded, stick to the back post and try and win the second ball. Do you have to know that you're coming up against that, change the way that you play? You can't play attacking FIFA all the time if you know you've got 3 6'7" giants at the back stick going to punish you.
Yeah, and that's the problem at times when you run that 4 at the back. At that back stick, you've got a traditional fullback. Whereas if you run the 5-4-1 or the 3-4-2-1, which we see so many people have, you have those 3 centre backs, which just give you that little bit more of a chance to compete in the air with the likes of Petr Cech, Savic, whoever it may be. As that chance comes through.
Get one back for Fnatic.
One back for Fnatic. The Raptors fans not going to be too happy with that.
They're booing the goal.
Yeah, they will be. I wanted to say, with Tex as well, for Fnatic, do you think this is something that he's probably not had all too much in his career, where the fans that are here, they don't want Tex to win, they don't want Fnatic to win?
I don't think any of the teams have had that, Alex. Never had booing, have they? But we're not often that we're treated, are we, to a great audience, I guess. Well, back on this one, Hollywood would like to get another good result to back up their first one. Ooh.
About that prediction I made, Hollywood winning all the games. Sure about that one, as Team FutWiz, we just joined the game there as a goals into the back of the net. 2-1 now, the scoreline. It was 99 Pele with that goal. Made the change, made the pause, score straight away, positive signs.
There's 2 big games, I believe, here. The Fnatic one needs to get it, and Essentials are up against Exceed. Again, we said, didn't we, a little bit about Exceed. They need to find something. They found nothing as we're approaching 45 minutes on that one, but Fnatic, can they get something else before half-time? Let's just stay with them before half-time. We've got 4 minutes left.
Oh.
Alex is getting nervy. No, that
I got excited.
attempt was broken down there.
Did someone scare you?
Oh, it's, yeah, a little bit of a shiver.
Well, just off screen, I don't think you'll get to see it on the replay here, but Team FutWiz just conceded a penalty And you'll be happy to know they did save that penalty in the end. It was an interesting penalty decision, to be brutally honest, but YMCA had a brilliant chance to be 3-1 up at the break. This game's in half-time. Ex-Raptors Twisted Minds leading Fnatic.
Yeah, let's go then. Jump into another game. This is going to probably stay 1 up. And obviously Crow Esports are on the attack. There's still a bit more time to be played in the FUTWIZ game though as well. They've got about 5 more minutes to see if they can make anything happen. Obviously they just had that penalty shot against them.
A lot of gasps from that side of the
I'm
couch.
just seeing volleys, I'm seeing lovely skills. I'm just getting very excited, very, very excited. As we move over into the Napoli game, R9 just bringing that one down. Again, that cross coming in, that's so useful for you to have that ability. Bring it down on that touch, firing it across the face of goal. And Napoli, after that disappointing result in game 1, looking good at 2-1 though. FUTWIZ, we know they made those tactical changes. They are on the attack with the last attack of this first half. Out on that right-hand side. We know Nick's never beneath them. They love the byline. They love the ability to drive, work it off across. It is Mbappe. Big feet. Decides to recycle. Out it goes.
Unfortunate.
That would have been the perfect time, wouldn't it, in this match if they could have got something before 45 minutes. Well, the second half then already in some of these games. In the first one, we're getting treated to Fnatic taking on the Raptors. Raptors then have been leading most of these games. I actually think they've been a goal down in the last 6 matches. They always get the lead and they just keep it. So this would be something new if Fnatic were to come back on them here.
Yeah, well, they started off the day yesterday 2-0 down against YMCA and then pulled that one back. They've looking strong ever since. However, just to talk about, Team Exceed are currently 1-0 down for Essentials. That goal went in at the first half. I mentioned it, Richard. I said if Team Exceed don't find a result here, it really does start to get questions between both of those players.
Plenty of time left for Team Exceed.
You believe in Oberon, Virgil, right now?
He has to, he's got a prediction. But they've got to top the group somehow.
I think everyone believes in Oberon because you know what he's achieved in the past, but possibly not in just Virgil because he's new. So, yeah, divided there in the camps. Maybe we should toss a coin for it. No, let's not do that again. Right, Fnatic then. Other matches getting back underway. Let's jump over to the FUTWIZ one with YMCA when we have a moment.
Oh my! It's a big chance here. We see Hollywood and FC Basel. Huge goal just to put us a little bit of separation. Not only in the game but also in the group. Hollywood were trying to make a resurgence. It's not to be. Back on board with Fnatic and the Raptors.
I don't know if we have the powers from above to request a replay from that Team FUTWIZ YMCA esports matchup, if possible. The chance that they just had. Have to see that one on the replay at some point. As we said, Crow MX Esports drew their first game here in day 2. So far looking to have an unbeaten streak to their play.
This is what we called for, Brandon, a little bit earlier. FUTWIZ.
Okay, well let's see if we can watch this one all the way through. Watch this attack play out if we've got the highlight for it. I think we do. Here we go.
Talk me through what I'm seeing.
The Team FUTWIZ do have an attack here. Just watch how it's a bit of a defensive disaster class, to be honest, here from YMCA. They built up on the attack nicely here. And to be brutally honest, please take the replays here. Where is it? Where's the bad pass?
Well, maybe we should come out of this because something else has happened as we've been trying to find this replay.
I think we're 2 minutes too late. We need the 49th minute if
story
possible.
through the replay. They've got to score. It's 2-2. Hollywood got one back. 3 goals to 2 now with FC Basel. Not long left to play though. 20 minutes on the clock. Hollywood need at least a draw to keep their Club World Cup really alive. The gap's starting to just become too big between 4 and 5 in Group A.
I love how close this match is. You would never have expected Hollywood to get a couple of goals and a win, would you, after what happened yesterday? But this is important, but I think FUTWIZ is really important as well. They're 2-2 YMCA. I'd love to see what's happening over there in that match. Let's have a look how the Footwiz boys are getting on.
Yeah, let's jump across. Well, I tried to say my replay of dreams. Unfortunately, wasn't able to, but we can confirm that it is 2-2 in this game. Team Footwiz did find an equaliser after being 2-0 down, and keep in mind, and saving a penalty early into the game. This is live footage in their match now as they build up for an attack, and he's defended well by the Finnish esports side. YMCA Esports still in the game.
Well, someone else got an equaliser in the Fnatic game. It was the English team. Let's jump into there and see if we can see that goal then. They levelled it. 2-2. Fnatic. Raptors.
Yeah, and suddenly it's gone all quiet in the crowds. As you can see, I think you might have here's a chance. YMCA. Snapshot, 20 minutes left to be played in that game. Alex, as you were going to say.
I just feel like you might have stirred the crowd on right there because
I'm sure they can't hear me. I'm sure they can't, but maybe they can.
So that's 2-2. We know another game went to 2-2. I'm not sure we can see that Fnatic goal to level it over Raptors. We can hear Raptors. They're getting behind them now. They want 3. This was 2.
This was the second lovely switch of play, in on goal Fnatic, keep your composure, slot it past the keeper. Every single game at this current moment in all the matches is either drawing or separated by 1 goal. It is incredible what we're seeing here.
Well, one British team on the comeback, that's Fnatic. Ninjas in Pyjamas, they've levelled it. Let's go over to Footwiz though, because they got a crucial goal a few moments ago.
And it's all about that tactical change. 24 minutes into this game, Team Footwiz were 2-0 down. They were looking like they were going to be 0 points from 6 in day 2, but the tactical changes worked wonders. Ethan Nixneb back cooking in the final thirds. 15 minutes left in the game, and they are in cruise control. Finally, are they back on the hunt now to get through this group?
I'd be really interested to know, what did they actually change from that? Because they didn't change formation.
No,
they stuck with their 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Did they just say, if we can stop those crosses and if we can get the ball into that attacking third ourselves, you back Nixneb and Ethan to create those chances? Maybe just being a little bit more aggressive in what they wanted from that play.
Well, let's have a look then at Hollywood and FC Basel. Massive chance there, just went missing. 3 minutes left on that one. Hollywood FC Basel, only a couple of minutes, the clock is counting down.
Not enough screens in front of me to see everything. There is so much happening. Team Exceed getting an equaliser with 5 minutes left on the clock. How big of a point could that be in qualifying?
Well, 90 minutes then ticks over on this matchup. I think it's a little too late for Hollywood to get anything from this one. Unfortunately, it started so well in match 6. This is match 7, and they falter at their second hurdle of the day.
And I'm pretty sure what you didn't see at home, you missed a penalty. 88th minute, Hollywood had a chance to level it up, and the goalkeeper guessed the right way. Heartbreaking. It's small margins like that, small moments that separate a qualifying and a group exit.
Well, you could argue a point at least keeps their dream alive. That loss there now, maybe, just maybe.
The gap's getting too big.
Yeah.
Mind the gap.
Well, Napoli, well, they were just continuing their dominant form. This is the penalty, though, Rich was chatting about in a short while ago.
86th minute.
This was crucial, wasn't it?
It's a stonewall penalty as he steps up. Guess the right way, tip it out. It's just
so unfair, isn't it? We always talk about penalties being unfair when it comes down to that for a point. Team Mullet, Ninjas in Pyjamas, looking like it's going to be a draw. 90 minutes, that will probably end as it stays on the clock like that, but we have some action. 83 minutes in the Footwiz game.
Bit of time in between
So
Footwiz.
that's going to be the last, that's out of play now. Let's go over to Footwiz.
Yeah, well, they've just had a ridiculous double save to keep them into the game. They might be on for a match winner now if they can find a way through the back. It's a huge coming together.
Still on.
YMCA just about hanging in there. There's 4 minutes left of this game. What it will do is it will FC Basel and Footwiz join on the same point tally in second place. second and third respectively with goal difference and head-to-head playing a part in that. Can they make something happen now? The Finnish esports organisation, they win? No, they don't. It goes for a goal kick. It's in their hands now, Team Footwiz, to see this one out.
That round of applause you might hear coming through is a full time between Raptors, Twisted Minds and Fnatic. 2-2 the final scoreline. Point split for each side as we enter the final couple of minutes for Team Footwiz to potentially get a fourth and put this out of sight.
Will be the last chance of the game. Added time of 1 minute. Is it enough time to get the ball forward for YMCA? They tried to get through, but what a turnaround and what a result that is for Team Footwiz. 2-0 down after 20 minutes. Some would say that's a real momentum change, a real mental shift for those guys now. Another win on the board, and what, I think Nick's never said 13 points to be enough. They're on 12 and they've still got 3 games to play.
Shows massive bottle as well, to pause it, to change it, and to get a result out of it. Like, that's the sort of thing that is tournament defining, really. If you go on and lose that game, you've then lost, what, 4 in a row, I think? You're starting to think, are we going to bottle this? Are we going to win 3 and then not qualify? Big result.
Well, I was looking behind because I wanted to see if Spen was going that way. I want to hear actually from them. I know we heard from them beforehand. They said they were feeling still confident. They wanted to play their style. I want to see how they managed to change that match around. So like Brandon said, 12 points now for them. Fnatic on 11, it's Raptors on 17 at the top of the table still. So that's round 7. A couple of anomalies there. Ninjas in Pyjamas as well, not being able to continue their form. Had settled for a draw, Alex.
No, they didn't, but I also think as well, they started off the day really strong. They're going to be happy enough with the point there, just knowing that it's top 4 that they're trying to aim for. Yes, they would have wanted to top that group going into it. They had a massive result in that first game. Get that draw now, it's just about getting through and getting that top 4, which I'm sure Renzo will be saying to the 2 players.
They did fist pump each other, didn't they, on the back of that, looking like they were content enough with a point.
I also don't want to be a walking stereotype, but a lot of the time in the groups, it is 1 point gains and not 2 points lost. Like, if you're leading 85th, 86th, 87th minute and you go and throw that lead away, you're thinking, oh, that would look so much nicer with 3 next to it. You get a point, you move up in the table, it's better than none.
Yeah, and that bottom of the table separated a little bit now. Essential 7, Exceed 7, and then GBX 6. So not much movement between the bottom 3 after 7 rounds of fixtures. So can we call it yet? Can we call Group A yet? I'm just going to go into Group A. 3, YMCA haven't got enough in the locker. 3 points at the bottom. Are we saying they're not making it through? 3 matches still to play?
I've got to stay neutral as a temporary admin and referee.
I don't think they will.
They're not making it through. Hollywood on 4 still got a chance?
No.
So that possibly then looks like in Group A it's sorted. Raptors, Footwiz, Basel in 3rd and Fnatic. Basel in 3rd, Spen's with them. Spen, do they think they've done enough so far to get through to tomorrow?
Let's find out, Rachel. Guys, do you think you've done enough to get through now? You've got 12 points, you just got to win in that last game, maybe knocking Hollywood out in the process, but that's not your problem. You've got to concentrate on Basel. You feeling good that you're going to make it out the group?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing amazing. We should have won the first game, to be honest. I think we're through mathematically. So, yeah, let's just play for seeding, hopefully not meet Leipzig in the next round, and let's just do it.
Can you target first place still? We saw ex-Raptors, they are human, they've just drawn another game. They're still not lost. They're the only team still playing in this morning session that are unbeaten. You've obviously got to play them again still. Do you think you can beat them and maybe nick top spot?
Hopefully, like, they have an amazing crowd here, so it would be really nice to maybe quiet them a bit. But, yeah, that's not on our mind. On our mind, it's just to play, to win, and to get a good seat.
Great stuff from Basel. They really have been very good. Obviously, it's what the E-Club World Cup's all about, especially the real-life football teams being represented well. Now I'm going to throw over to Mike, who's absolutely miles away. He's with the YMCA boys, and he's just there.
Yeah, we haven't had this opportunity to kind of be side to side, but it's just the way that we worked out. Obviously joined by YMCA. Very tough loss there. How are you guys kind of feeling in the camp? Yesterday you had a few draws. Today I thought you were going to get on the board with a win there. You were leading early. It didn't work out for you. What's been the biggest struggle?
Finishing. We've been grading a lot. I think we have the most XG in our group, I think. Just played well. Just, I think the pressure has got to us a bit, but yeah. Just gotta keep thinking positive and see how it goes.
FIFA can be kind of cruel in that way. And going into these remaining games, you have to win out, obviously. Are you going to see any changes, any shifts, anything more dramatic going forward, or pushing bodies or formations?
Not really, no, I don't think. Just have to find that one little notch on the finishing, and yeah, should be good.
Well, best of luck to you guys. Hopefully you guys really stir up the group a little bit. We're going to send it back to Rachel. I'm sure that they've been talking about all the mathematical equations, and if Richard's over there, he's probably saying the word permutation way too many times. I apologize.
He hasn't yet, Mike, but I'm sure he will in a moment's time. Yeah, we're starting to try and calculate everyone's probability of going through to the next round. YMCA, well, they take on Fnatic next. We'll actually show you the standings, so then I can read through it so you can get a feel for exactly what's unfolding here in groups A and B. So YMCA, Mike just spoke to them, 3 points. They're looking to find something in terms of finishing. I'm not sure it'll be enough. The only game that's going in their favour now is the Fnatic one. That could turn it a little bit, but probably not enough. But Richard is here to talk about those permutations, Rich.
Isn't it just, it's quite poignant really that the Finnish team are struggling with finishing. The one thing that's letting them down. The permutations at Group A are pretty much there already. I mean, Hollywood would have to produce something magical
like
really.
From Hollywood, right?
Yeah, but I just don't see it happening. For me now, everyone is playing to not finish fourth. You finish fourth, more than likely you're playing RB Leipzig first knockout game. So it's going to be really important where you stand in Group A compared to that first knockout match.
If that stays like that, Fnatic RB Leipzig, round of 16, yes please, get me there now.
Well, I'm going to introduce now Lee Dearman-Smith, who's just joined us on the sofa as well to chat through. Lee, I wasn't going to bring you in under that because we didn't know you were there. And you've been like, who's just joined us? So you've just seen then those two group standings as it is going into round 8. What are you reading into YMCA and Hollywood's chances? That's what we've been talking about quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 3 and 4 points, you're pretty much in trouble. You're going to, well, you have to win both games and you have to hope results go your way. So it's kind of that horrible position. Also for the teams facing them, they're also in that dangerous situation of they've got nothing to lose anymore. It's one of those horrible situations. You could come against Hollywood. I mean, Mark Eleven's a decent player. He's in all competitions throughout this tournament. So they could just throw anything out there, some sort of random shots, you know, maybe just go for the long ball, start doing the big through balls. They may just catch you off guard. You know, the random factor is always what catches pros off guard because they're used to like the tried and tested, as it were. So it could shape the group, as you said. You know, let's face it, 4th place we know is going to be facing number 1 in Group C. Or well, we don't know, but everybody else told us. Nowhere out there doesn't tell us, but the teams are telling us. Nobody wants to face RB Leipzig right now. They're deadly.
Hollywood, though, have a tough matchup. They have the Raptors next, Alex. Will they throw the kitchen sink at it? Will they change it up? They've got to also contend with the 12th man, the audience.
Yeah, and I think for that, like, we know how good they've been so far, and the crowd are behind them. As I said, they pretty much know they're top in that group. That means they can go out. When they've already been playing with the freedom that they have, they now have even more freedom. They've got nothing to worry about. They know they're going through. They know they're looking good. Yes, you could argue some teams, they might, you know, go, oh, we're going to relax a little bit. We know we're through. But when you're the home team and when you have that crowd here with you, I just don't think that's going to happen.
Well, the games have started. We're obviously now in match 8 for A and B. It must be so nice to play with such freedom if you're the Raptors. While we jump into the first game on stream, though, Fnatic YMCA.
Both teams, very different stories at this current moment. We talk about Hollywood as well and Raptors. Hollywood, yeah, you might not go through, but to beat them, to silence the crowd, maybe to give it a little bit back to the crowd as well, tell them to be quiet and shush them.
If I was them, I'd be Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Hey,
oi, oi, oi.
You'll get some enjoyment out of that.
Should we do that? Should we go and start it?
Fnatic on a little bit of a mission at the moment. Maybe they wanted to catch Raptors potentially as well to finish top of the group.
Is there a storyline here building in this Group A though? Right, Raptors are through, we know that. They're the only unbeaten team still. Is there a little bit of like, let's go and be unbeaten? Let's go and set even a bigger statement out there to the rest of the teams to be going to the knockouts?
I think so, and also, do you remember last year, it was obviously our Riders, they were on 25 points. Is there a little bit of something, well, they were defending champions, can we get similar or more points than that to end day 2?
Yeah, possibly that could be on their mind, and I think as well, if they make it through to the knockouts unbeaten, we know RB Leipzig, one of the favourites. Surely we have to be looking at that and then going, at least haven't lost a single game. They could possibly go all that way.
Can we have a quick look at the Fnatic game then? So we've got the goal over there. Lee, important for them to come out firing early on, Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, after yesterday, we were talking about, what's happening today. They've just been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they even managed to pull back the Raptors game they were 2-0 down to. I think they're starting to feel it, and it's a dangerous time with Diogo and Tex. If their teamwork starts to gel, they absolutely could kick on here. But this would put them into third. It would put them over Basel, right, if I'm not mistaken. And that's where they want to be. They want to start getting that second place. You want to avoid Leipzig. You want to avoid. I mean, we don't even know who's going to be second up. That Group C is just so wide open, but you want to just get away from Leipzig.
I mean, Raptors have been unbelievable. Best team we've seen. What do they get rewarded as it stands? Atletico Madrid Riders. First knockout game.
Right,
it's brutal. It really is.
The thing about that is causing panic now for anyone in Group C. Like, we don't want to finish. We want to get through, but we don't want to finish fourth.
Just seen a massive goal go in as well for Team Exceed. That flick on from R9 against Napoli Esports. Is it time for Oberon and Just Virgil to step up to the plate and start performing at this tournament? Fnatic though going through again. It takes Diogo. Yeah, they're just looking like they're doing their business.
Group B is where majority of the action is right now. That's where the places are still to be made up, and there's real opportunity for teams to crumble and teams to go through.
Yeah, we can stay on this game for a little while. Exceed is doing exactly what they need to be at the moment. Napoli, though, started to come under pressure. I said actually at the beginning of the day they hadn't been troubled that much yesterday. They didn't lose yesterday, but came out with 11 points, a lot of draws.
Yeah, the thing is with both of those players, they're so young and they're coming out with just a complete freedom to say we want to do what we want as we see a vital error. Oberon just saying to Virgil, let's calm down, let's keep doing what we're doing. That there though, that isn't good enough. You can't be laying that ball out and giving it to Oberon and Virgil that easily. They will punish you. Napoli Esports, going back to them, they're young players. They're just playing with complete freedom. That yes, not a good start in this game. I'm excited to see how they carry on.
I think there's an angle to talk about with Napoli as well, that they're a team that have just focused on this tournament. Individually, they haven't done anything really. Yes, they played in FGSs, but, and Rich was saying yesterday as well, it's an advantage if you can do that. Just put everything into 2v2 FIFA, because no one's playing 2v2 FIFA. Maybe they'll probably stop playing after maybe even the EA Sports Cup back in January.
Yeah, definitely, and that's something that always comes into account when you're looking. The 2v2 teams are not the best sort of ones, are normally the players that maybe don't focus as much on that 1v1 side. Yes, maybe we see a bit of a difference with Tuga and Andoni, but for the majority of players, if you're not there for this 1v1 FIFA E World Cup in the next couple of weeks, you put all your eggs into that 2v2, it helps you out massively.
Are we going to see a comeback like we had from Team Footwear? They've gone two goals down after this goal to Basel. Alex, what are they doing? Why do they keep setting up on the back foot in the opening stages of each match?
Well, we saw from Ethan and Nicksteb in that interview with Spencer. He said that we like to play attacking FIFA. We don't always want to go out with that 5-4-1 and put numbers behind the ball. Nicksteb and Ethan, the way they play best is getting that ball, getting forward. Now, obviously, if you're allowing your opponent to have more numbers in that attack because you don't have those numbers, it is going to put your backs up against the wall. However, YMCA Esports, the Finnish team, Richard said, they're not finishing their chances. They do exactly that there. With that Travella from range, putting themselves at least back in with a shout against Fnatic.
Yeah, puts Fnatic under a little bit of pressure, doesn't it? As they lose that 2-goal cushion, it cuts to 1. Well, this is back on the Footwiz game. The Footwiz boys, like we were saying, they just struggle, don't they? They want to play their style and none of these teams are allowing them to.
Well, they're working on it, They've got one back there, so I mean, they went 2-0 down before, right? They came back 3-2. It seems to be their way today, I guess. Speaking to Footwiz earlier, Exceed though, they're on it right now. They seem to be kicking into gear, which is something they absolutely missed yesterday. They were faltering all the way.
Something as well in that Footwiz goal that they just got back against FC Basel. We saw a player lock. You don't always see that in 2v2 FIFA because it can be a little bit confusing for your teammate. Nicksteb and Ethan, although yes, they have gone 2-0 down, that just shows that they are still confident in that ability. The interview they said, let us just play, let us have confidence. We know we can create chances, we believe in ourselves. And they're doing it.
Exceed 3-0 up. They on their way through, are they, Rich?
Potentially so.
Some of us got on top of the group, right?
Yeah, some of them had. I thought they'd exceed expectation. Unfortunately not.
To be fair, that group is wide open though.
They can still get top.
How do you exceed expectations at top of the group?
What? Exceed? I think we're going to win it.
Anyway, right, 45 minutes on the clock with the Raptors Hollywood, and we get a goal as it ticks over, and you can hear who it's from. as well, Brandon.
Absolutely. I mean, look, this is, as we've already discussed, this is crunch time, if there was ever crunch time for Hollywood, to try and make something happen. Yes, impressive they've been able to hold them off for this long, but right now, Raptors twisted. They just want to be unbeaten, don't they? Right, I think this is a 20-point match. If they win this one, they're going to be trying to set precedent of what's to come in the knockout stages.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Footwiz, let's just stay here a second and see if they can do anything for the last kind of couple of moments of this game. It's 45 minutes on the clock. Corner kick wasn't to be in that game. Still trailing at half-time. Another interesting matchup here, if you can hear me, underneath the crowd that we have assembled in the arena. Team Ninjas in Pyjamas Essentials. It's essential, isn't it, for Essential to get a few more points. They're obviously 7, 7 and 6. Exceed and GBX Esports.
Yeah, it is extremely tight in this group, as we do see Oli Ito, Levi David, that little fist bump, and they find themselves 1-0 to the goods. I think for Levi David and for Oli Ito, they're second in the group right now. Although, yes, we said that previous game they'll be happy with that point. They still want to keep going and trying to get that first spot in their group. Napoli Esports, we know, are losing 3-0 to Exceed as we jump over to...
You heard some cheering. You might have thought, oh, Raptors have scored. They're actually saying, well done to Hollywood for this ball right here. Took it around the keeper, a simple finish into the back of the net there. I like it.
I mean, it's the first time they've done that because they've been booing everyone else.
Yeah, but they're through now, they don't care.
Just Fnatic they didn't like.
Yeah.
I'll tell you someone else that will want to give them a good game, and that's Footwiz.
Oh, that was close. Let's stay on this one. This is quite dramatic, and obviously it gives us a good vibe because the atmosphere in here is great to go with this match. So it's one apiece here. These Raptors.
Oh.
No, not to be. They're still in, ball still in play. Hollywood though now. Can they counter? On the attack here. This is probably their best chance though on the counter attack. Rich, from the Raptors team for Hollywood.
Yeah, you would say so. It all comes down to sort of really, as you say that, it's finishing to the back of the net. There's no reaction though because
now they're booing.
Yeah, I'm letting them know about it now. It's near on impossible for them to go through at this point. So it's a real tough situation. Speaking of Team Footwiz, slot across the box, finish into the back of the net, 3-2. They like coming from behind.
That's an area where Nick's beneath and just have so much confidence in one another. When they drive towards that byline, they know where their teammate is every single time. They look for that cutback, they get it with ease, and again, the comeback, maybe, Footwiz.
And if they do get that equaliser, Alex, Nick said 13 points would be great. That is what they'd have in the group if they were to draw this game.
Yeah, for sure. They will want to keep pushing on, though. They don't want to finish fourth in that group and face up against possibly RB Leipzig.
Is the comeback on for Napoli over Team Exceed? Team Exceed, they had a 3-goal advantage over Napoli. Napoli have just pulled one back. Is there enough time in that matchup?
I think for Napoli, they started the day at top of the group, so they've come in a little too comfortable. This would be a double defeat straight away. Obviously, Exceed, needed the points at the start of the day. Obviously, the game will go on the screen there for Hollywood. Their repercussions are they have to win everything, and they have to get Fnatic to lose, which they're not. So it's a null and void point. But for Napoli, you can see it was a decent goal to come back, but Exceed seem to have hit their stride now, I feel.
I think the one thing that's important on that point as well is, look, Napoli did 11 points from 15 yesterday. You can have a bad day. You can have a bad day too. Maybe get 2, 3, 4 points out of 15. It still gets you through, and I think that's what we could be looking at here with Napoli.
Yeah, exactly. They'll actually be level, won't they, after this, if Team Hooligan Ninjas in Pyjamas keep their lead. 70 minutes on the clock of that, then they'll be level, and then it's all to play for the third and fourth place teams.
There's one team that have taken their foot off the gas, and that is Fnatic. We'll give you the update from that as soon as we can. They're up against YMCA.
Team Exceed then, just in a pause at the moment. And speaking about them, Napoli having a bit of a slower start to day 2 than they had yesterday. Ninja Pyjamas then, we've got a pause for Essential. That's just queued up. They're trying to make a few last minute changes in the last 15 minutes or so of this game. Hollywood then, this is the Hollywood story as well. They have still got the lead over Raptors. Raptors won't want to be beaten by this team.
Only team to potentially beat them as well, Rachel.
Then that kind of is heartbreak for me. Team to beat them and may not go through.
I mean, at least you could say maybe beat the winners.
You can take that home, can't you? Well, the fans, maybe they think if they make some noise, we'll get them on screen. They're trying to help their team level this game. Hollywood know, though, it's a massive game for them. Like Brandon said, even just to be able to say they beat one of the best teams in the world.
We haven't seen Raptors find themselves down so far, as we do see that equaliser from YMCA Esports. Just driving through with Pele. Raptors, as I said, they went 2-0 down in that first game, they pulled it back, they've not been behind since. Now, for the players, it's quite loud in here. How do you even have that conversation between one another? Because you're right next to each other, but the crowd, yeah, they're trying to gel them on. You can't actually have that conversation of, okay, we need to do this, we need to do X, Y, and Z to try and find our way back into this game. It must be extremely difficult.
It must be difficult. It's even difficult for us to hear each other as Lee's waving his cue cards at me. Where are we going, Lee?
YMCA, ironically. We were talking about Hollywood, obviously needing Fnatic to lose. If obviously they're playing YMCA, it's another team 3 and 4 points at the bottom of the table. Fnatic on 9, right? So, you know, it's a case of Fnatic needing to lose a game. They were 2-1 up in this game, and the Finns, I love the Penguin celebration every time they score, by the way, have banged in another. So they are suddenly 3-1. This is actually almost a go sign for YMCA and Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, yes, Napoli are knocking on the door, aren't they, in that game? Team Exceed. This, though, is the one that's making all the noise. Raptors, the local Saudi side, and their local fans are in here supporting them up against Hollywood. Goal then, the first goal of the game in ProMX, the match over there with GBX. Deadlock only got broken as the 80-minute clock ticks over.
It'll be vital, that one. ProMX we're in qualifying. Obviously, that group is within, 2 points between about 5 teams, I think, at the moment. A win there in the 82nd, that's just about what they want, really. Perfect timing for them. For FIFAe, it's a little scary, you know. We were talking about the fact, obviously, Basel, they talked about they wanted to avoid Leipzig. This is going to push them up to second.
Well, 5 more minutes here. Looking to be undefeated with 2 games left to play. Can they make this happen?
Look at the closing stage of this one. Let's stick with it for a few minutes. Hollywood against Raptors twisted. Yet to lose a game in Group A, but for Hollywood, as we know, it needs to be some sort of Hollywood story if there's going to be any way.
It'd be an epic story, because it means Fnatic would fall out as well, right? It's the only team that can fall. The only team they can catch is Fnatic. I don't know what the head-to-head or goal difference would be, because I'm sure it would fall to that, because they'd be on equal points, but it'd be a heck of a story.
A goal just got in between Fnatic and YMCA. We'll give it to you as soon as we can. Added time in this one still. Hollywood looking to beat the hosts here. Last chance of the game, they run out of play. It will go for a goal kick, and that should do us.
It's 3-2 for a long time in this game. Fnatic knocking on the door, and they finally got an answer. Driven pass into the feet, and a finish against the finish with 9 minutes left to play. It's a real sucker blow for YMCA, but with that point, probably puts Fnatic untouchable.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It takes them up to 14 points. So it would mean they leapfrog over FIFAe and Basel. How do they get on in their result there?
3 minutes left.
That's 3-2, so they would be on similar results, but it means FIFAe are the ones that falter then in Group A. Exceed and Napoli, that's still going on over there. There's a goal to bring you. We're just waiting for the end of this one. but was Basel.
Had an equaliser as well in a game. It happened about 20 minutes ago, so it's already been and done. Essentials actually pulled the equaliser against Team Hull at NIP, so that game ended 1-1. That one's been finished, so still some of the late running games going. The one right here, yeah, is Exceed really stepping it back up. And this is what we like to see. Certainly some of us that have got top in the group love to see it. Napoli looked unstoppable yesterday. They really did very well. Young team, very excited about being here. But for Exceed, it's great to see them starting to step up. Today's the day to shine. You know, you don't win anything in groups, but you don't win out if you go out in groups either.
This is the story though, isn't it?
Especially, Rachel, as well, when you have to play against a team that you qualified alongside. The fact that they're in the same group, both being the two Italian teams in the FIFAe Club World Cup, it's one hell of a time to turn your form around. And they're about 1 minute away plus additional time from seeing that one out as we look at Fnatic. YMCA in the dying stages here. This one's been a pretty end-to-end game as well. 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, YMCA just haven't let Fnatic get away with it, have they? Every time Fnatic go in the lead, they just peg them back again, level. 3-3 at the moment.
There's going to be a free kick just on the edge of the box. Late drama.
Played it short. Tries to come in. Fnatic defend it well. Any time to follow. They have a counter-attack to play with just 2 minutes left. They give possession back to the Finnish side. Can we see one last chance being created here? Maybe a Trevella from the edge of the box, not able to do that, and Virgil van Dijk will get that one clear. 1 point shared.
Well, a lot of points shared then in the 8th round of fixtures here today. Fnatic, text there, going to it like this to Diogo, saying what went wrong at the end. We're not really sure. They did have to settle for 1 point between YMCA. Been chatting about Fnatic. Spen's down there to speak a little bit to the boys. He was just going like this, Spen. He had his arms out saying what went wrong to Diogo, did Tex. Maybe you can go and ask them why they kept giving away the lead and they got a draw in the end to YMCA.
Yeah, let's find out. So they did stop YMCA getting their first win of the tournament, and I sense that the mood in the camp's a little bit negative, but you shouldn't be, boys. You're actually now 6 games without a loss. You lost your first 2, but you haven't lost since then. Yeah, you've had a few draws, but it's been 3 draws and 3 wins in your last 6. That's not bad form, Tech.
That's why I hate group stages. You just draw games. I want to play best of 2s, so there be a winner. Last year at the World Cup, I think we won 6. No, not World Cup. Club World Cup, we won 6 and drew 4, I think. Like, we just draw games. That's why I don't like best of 1, but yeah.
It also means you're hard to beat, which, if you get into the knockouts, is a good thing.
Yeah, it's like even, what tournament was it? Masters at the start of the year. We were the worst qualified team out into the knockouts, and then we beat Leipzig. So, like, we are a knockout team. We just got to get there.
Exactly, you just got to get there, and that's what is the task in front of you now. Sitting on 12 points, you've got your level with FIFAe Europe right now in that joint 3rd spot, which is the final spot, because you've got Basel ahead of you on 15, you've got the Raptors guys ahead of you on 17. They have just lost their first game in the tournament to Hollywood, who we're going to hear from in a minute, because you've still got to play those guys, and they're still not completely out of it. What have you got to do just to seal the deal now? Is it as simple as getting one more win?
Yeah, well, first of all, don't lose this game to Fluids, because we're tied, but we've got the head-to-head advantage, so if we lose that. So don't lose that. And yeah, as you mentioned earlier, negative energy is mainly for me, because like I expect more, and like in my opinion, we're better than these teams we're drawing to, so that's more it. But as long as, like Donny said, as long as we get through, like I do also believe we're a knockout team, best of 2, different game, completely different game.
The next 2 games are, I wouldn't say knockout football, because you guys are in the driving seat, you just need to get that win. But there is a world where Hollywood can catch you, especially if they beat you in your game. You don't get that win against FIFAe. So, very important games, particularly the FIFAe game. Last question, we spoke to Tex yesterday, both of you. He was a little bit maybe, he actually said the words, we ain't going through. But you're playing like you are going through. What have you done in the time that's passed since to get him in that positive state of mind?
We haven't done anything really. Like we tried switching formation, but like this game we went back to the old formation. We haven't really done anything. Like yesterday, it wasn't working. Like sometimes you have a day in FIFA, I guess, that it doesn't work. And today, I know we haven't lost. I think we can be better, but obviously, like it's a lot better than yesterday. We were on 1 point after 3 games. We got 5 after 3 games this time, so it is an improvement. But it's about getting through these last 2 games, and tomorrow we go again.
Great stuff. Heard from the Fnatic boys there. Slow starters, maybe, yes, but very hard to beat. 6 games unbeaten is no joke. Let's head over to Mike, because with the Hollywood boys, who might have a Hollywood ending coming up.
Well, technically, I've taken one of the seats now. I've joined the 2v2. I love an underdog story. I'm joined by Mark. We've gotten up to 7 points now. Is there optimism in the air?
There is. After I saw the fixtures coming up, this is hope. Next game we win it, and we're out in it for sure.
So this is a situation. We've got Fnatic playing against FUTWIZ. They're both on 12 points. You guys are on 7. If you win your next game, then your final game is against Fnatic. There might be a situation here where you can actually control the outcome.
Yeah, hopefully FUTWIZ do win against Fnatic, then we have a very good chance of qualifying to top 4.
Unrelated, but I want to know what players have made the biggest difference, because we've seen a lot of new players introduced, and we see them in all sorts of different lineups and different approaches to the 2v2s.
It's got to be the 3 shapeshifter teams. They're insane. I've got like Larish playing center mid, his long sleeves, it's a bit weird, and then conceding goals to Petr and assists, so it's a hard one, but definitely the shapeshifter cards for sure.
Side note, I love Petr as well. Well, we're going to send it back to Rachel. We're having a little break here. A lot of the players ran to the restroom. They're going to come back. And we've got a lot of action to unpack here to see how these groups finish up.
Yeah, and that team there, like Spen said, that is the one we have to watch now. It's getting exciting in Group A. We now have 5 teams for 4 spaces. Remember, only 4 can go through to tomorrow when we get to see the knockouts. It is mathematically impossible now for YMCA to go through, because FUTWIZ there sitting on 12 points. It is just between Team Hollywood, FUTWIZ and Fnatic of who goes through there. Could lose one of the big teams in FUTWIZ and Fnatic. Is that likely, Brandon?
Well, this is the point now, Rachel, because YMCA, yes, they're out the tournament, but they can still give a massive hand to any of those top 4. I mean, mainly Fnatic and Team FUTWIZ. They win that game against Hollywood, everyone can relax. Top 4 is already done and dusted. But the last fixtures here in Group A are interesting. Fnatic play Team FUTWIZ, Hollywood play YMCA, as we know, and in the last round of games, it's Hollywood against Fnatic, Team FUTWIZ against the Raptors, top of Group A. I mean, it could happen. We're already starting to build that storyline.
Well, let's keep the standings here then. Let's quickly talk about Group B on the other sofa with Alex and Lee. The bottom of this, everything's still to play for, both of you.
Yeah, definitely all still to play for at the bottom. Essentials Gaming just 2 points off that all-important top 4 that you need. Pretty much anyone can be dragged into it there. JDT, GBX though, it is looking a little bit more unlikely for them. They need to try and pick up 2 wins to give themselves a chance. At the top of the table, still all to play for.
Yeah, and Essentials last-minute equaliser against TGNIP was pretty big. I mean, I think they'd have been sunk without that as well. So it's sort of a lifeline, effectively, but there's still a lot to play for. CroMX obviously just cruising through to win. It's really a case of where they're going to finish, I feel, for those 4, and whether Essentials can throw the hat in the mix.
Yeah, only 6 points remaining, 2 more matches for all of these teams. And remember, guys, if you want to just get in touch with us, you can do. Just use the hashtags FEWC. This one, though, has already come in. FECWC as well as another one. There's a lot of hashtags you can use. So that Levinuid and Olito partnership for Team Hulit is just too good. Well, we speak about that a lot. Maybe they're agreeing, the Saudi fans as well. We speak about the team, don't we? Team Hulit, Ninjas in Pyjamas, that great partnership, and it works so well between Levi and Olito. It's been building over the past couple of years, and we actually caught up with them earlier on in the week just to hear why and how their partnership works so well.
I'm Levi de Weert, I'm 19 years old. I play for TG.NIP and this is my 3rd competitive season.
My name is Ular Bin, I'm 21 years old. I play for TGNIP as well, and this is my 5th season, I think.
I think in FIFA 22 last year was when 2v2 was introduced, and then we needed to create the best team. Olo at that time was signed at Ninjas in Pyjamas, but like Renzo and all the coaches at Team Gullit were still like coaching him. So that's how the collaboration came for a 2v2 team called TG.NIP.
Yeah, pretty simple.
I have to start at his mental ability, I think, because he can play like as the worst and still he will scrap it through and make a tournament to qualify himself. That's something I respect really much about him.
I think Levi is very creative when it comes to attacking. when he gets into the box, I'm just putting my controller on the shelf and let him doing his stuff, I think one of the most unready things people don't realize about him though is that I feel like he's better in defense than he is going forward. I think Dutch guys are a bit more direct when it comes to communication, of course. I think Swedish guys are always not really saying what they really want to say. So I think that was something that we struggled a bit with at the start, but definitely, we've been playing with each other now for 2 years.
In terms of communication, I think we are maybe the best team. We just tell each other everything in game, and even other teams say, how can you talk that much and focus, but we are just used to it now.
Well, they're such a successful duo, those two, and they're also great footballers in real life, aren't they, as well? Both had great junior careers. I believe Ololito had a bit of an injury, and that stopped him in his career to being a footballer, and he thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to transition to be a pro FIFA player instead. And we speak about how much that knowledge of the game helps, doesn't it, when they come out here on the virtual pitch. But talk to me a little bit about their characters. We all know them so well. Levy is so direct, isn't he? Like Ololito says, he's the one that kind of shouts and screams a bit more than Ololito. He sits back and mulls it over in his head before his emotions come out, boys.
Yeah, he does. I also think as individual players, Ololito and Levy Douid, they have such high expectations of themselves. They've both won tournaments, and that's something that not a lot of people can say. You have to put yourself with someone with that same mindset. If you're Ololito and he's playing with Brandon, it just wouldn't work, because then you've got a player who is.
Well, we can make loads of TikToks.
He'd get sick of you by the end of the week. It just wouldn't work. So they've both got to be aligned, and I also think arguably the biggest key of this team is Renzo behind them, giving them that extra sort of 10-15%, the Team Hully foundations, the Ninja in Pyjamas sort of level of team that they are, just taking it to the next level. It's one of the 4 or 5, I would say, super teams that we have when you've just got 2 players and you've gone, play together. And it works.
Obviously, Rich was talking, Alex, about taking him to the next level, that being Renzo. How does he do that? Does he sit down with them after these matches, and does he kind of highlight some areas of weaknesses? Obviously, you're a FIFA analyst yourself. How would he go about doing that?
Yeah, that's something between the two players. When you've got Ollie and Levy, who are both so good in their own departments, sometimes you're going to pick through analysis stuff that you want to work through with them. But we know at these tournaments, those two players, when they play together, they know what they need to do. At times it can just be, look, like yesterday, you were creating lots of chances, but you weren't scoring. For a player, when you're not finding the back of the net, after 2 or 3 games, you start to get a little bit demotivated. Renzo then just steps in and says, look, you're doing what you need to do. Eventually, you will find the back of the net. And that's exactly what Renzo does. Just kind of keeps them in that right mindset to go through and eventually get those wins.
Yeah, Lee, do you think the fact they play for Team Hullet under that umbrella, it adds a little extra layer of pressure as well?
Absolutely does. I mean, obviously he was present. Was it 2018, 2017, right? When Gorilla won it.
He also came to the Champions League even before.
If I'm not mistaken, that year. But yeah, I mean, obviously that was the start of the growth. I mean, I'm old enough, unfortunately I don't think any of you are, to have seen Ruud Gullit in his heyday, and obviously he's a beast of a player. It's why for, the best part of like the decade with the Icons, that he's been used as like that main central midfielder. That's quite a legacy to have on your name. Obviously I know NIP from the FPS scene and everything else that they've been pretty much, they've got such a pedigree in terms of like winning mentality. To bring the two together, it should bring great support to 2 very strong players. And as you mentioned with the coach, it's not a case of, both these players have won something, so it's not a case of like trying to control them your event nerves and stuff that some of these coaches will be dealing with new players. It's a case of, as I say, bringing out the best of them, how to get them training best at events and stuff like that, to sit them down and make them do practice games, because they'll be practicing with obviously teams from Group C and D in the spare time. So it's a case of just getting them maximising what they can get out of the players.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it, as well, to see teams continuing year after year. Sometimes, I guess, if you don't get the results early on, you go and shake things up when it's, in its infancy, and actually you should just let that team breathe a bit, and that's what they've been able to do.
Well, it's one thing that lacks in FIFA esports, isn't it? It's commitment to players' contracts. Every player's contract is going to be 12 months, realistically. Yes, from a business savvy point of view, you get a new game every year, meta changes, players changes, life changes. But for the few clubs that are out there that have got long-term agreements with players, you are seeing them that can invest more. They can have boot camps, they can have just more people around them, and I think that's a great example of what we're seeing here with TG and OP.
Yeah, we don't see that too often. We do have a tweet, we'll continue this conversation as well. We've got Fnatic, obviously they've got a long-term partnership. Come on, FUTWIZ, we're getting a little bit of support for those guys.
OD.
Looking good, Demon. Okay, is that his mate? Who is it?
You know OD? You don't know OD? So
Who is it? I'm asking you.
is the man that created Team Dignitas,
Oh,
along
there
with
you
myself. 2001.
I didn't know, because you're older than me. I didn't know that.
Yes,
then.
he's the original man that ran Team Dignitas, who used to have FIFA players back in the day, a long time ago.
2001?
2001.
Black and white days, wasn't it? We didn't have colour on the screen for that. Football, no chance.
Actually, we didn't have video streaming, is what we didn't have. It was all radio streaming, where Shoutcaster actually came from. So that's where.
It's also Sling Nursery.
I thought you were playing on the Nintendo, right?
Hey, I was a world champion back then. I'll have you know. We'll go back to old. Is that Agger back on here? We'll try to get the old boys back on quick.
Oh, well, yeah, we will have Agger. Obviously, he is around and about for us, giving his opinion. Obviously, world champion back in 2014. That was quite a while ago. I love hearing the stories as well when he does come on the sofa and just give his insight into what it took back then to be a world champion. Well, let's talk then about what we're going to see then. So we've got 2 more matches still to be played. You got 17 points for ex-Raptors Twisted Minds. Are they going to get the 20s? I'm thinking that's quite likely. We were chatting a little bit about last year. 25 was the record from Movistar Riders to top their group going into day 3. Let's have a look. YMCA, we're talking that story. If you're just joining us, possibly unlikely to go through. And then in Group B, Napoli, they were great yesterday, 11 points. Actually only added 3 more points today. So that's the story there. 11 points, only getting 14 today, Brandon.
We said that, didn't we? Really good day one, 11 out of 15 points. You can afford, with 4 going through out of 6, to have a bad day too. Is 14 points enough? I think it will be.
But does that make you lose the confidence going into tomorrow that you faltered on day 2? You're trying to claw back the form you had on day 1, Rich?
I'm going to say no, for the simple fact that when I was speaking to Oberon earlier on today...
Where was he, in the lobby of the hotel?
We were catching up, and he just said, we get out of groups, it's a new tournament. You play a different format, you play against different teams. It's almost an A side and a B side. You get through the groups, and then you can go, okay, now we can start to ramp up the prize money. We play 2 legs, we play more familiar, we play in a different style of FIFA.
We just heard Tech say exactly the same in the interview with Spencer, right? He was talking about best of ones. I'm all about the group stage for knockouts.
Yeah, everyone loves 2 legs. Obviously, we play that a lot in the regular series. So, well, we're back then, aren't we? The break has been completed. They've had the little breaks, and now we are back into round 9. 2 more still to go. These are the final 2 rounds to see our 4 clubs from each group who make it through to tomorrow. Well, we're on Hollywood one. This is vital. Let's stay here and let this one breathe a little bit, Alex. Hollywood are looking for 3 points. They're looking for the upset. They could really change things around in Group A.
They are indeed, and for YMCA, they know they are down and out of this tournament. They can go out, and it depends how you want to go out. You can say, get this game done, I just want to go home, or let's go out for the bang and see if we can pick up our first victory of the tournament. Hollywood, though, they need a miracle. They need to keep the pressure up, find a way, and they're looking to do that down at the bar line. But defender is there.
Yeah, exactly. Hollywood, that's the story. 7 points in 5th. Can they make a miracle happen here in Saudi this year at the Club World Cup? Right, well, this comeback is on for them.
It would be bittersweet if YMCA is the team that stops Hollywood going through. Like, both teams just knock each other out. It would be a bit of a bittersweet story. But, I mean, they talked about it. This is their chance. This is their moment. It's all in Hollywood's hands. Well, not quite in Hollywood's hands, because it's obviously down to FUTWIZ Fnatic as well. But it's mainly in Hollywood's hands.
I was going to say that. We've been in here this game with nothing happening for 12 minutes now. Should we go into the match which could affect this as well? That's FUTWIZ taking on Fnatic. They've kicked off as well. We can just watch and see tactically how this unfolds for a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll keep my close eyes on these Group A games because you're right to say, Rachel, there's a lot that holds on them in terms of whoever wins this game, you could argue, is they're safe, they're through, and it will be more of the question of if Hollywood beats YMCA, that game also underway in this group. The storyline we're building is that Hollywood still could qualify. It would be a miracle. 6 points needed would put them on 13. We'll have to wait and see how this game plays out.
Over in Group B, you've got Essentials versus JDT GBX. That is basically a must-win game for Essentials. The other top 4 are all playing each other, so there's an opening for them to get in there. They did obviously get that vital equaliser earlier on, but for Essentials, this is a must-win. JDT GBX looking like they're fading away out of this one. There is still a chance. It's a definite roll of the dice, but like Hollywood, really. But if Essentials can pick up a win here, they've got a last chance shout in the next match.
Yeah, they can't afford to let a gap appear between Exceed and Essentials. But obviously we're sticking at the moment with the Group A fixture. Footwiz and Fnatic, that all English affair. We were treated to that again, weren't we, yesterday? And actually it was Fnatic who got the better of Footwiz. Only one goal in it.
Yeah, it was, and we saw Footwiz come out and start so strong yesterday. They pick up those 2 losses at the end of the day. A little bit shaky so far today, but they do find themselves one to the good against Fnatic. And I think for Footwiz, if you are going to beat Fnatic, we know Nick Sneb and Ethan want to be on that front foot. Tex and Diogo's defence is actually one of their strongest points as well. We know they can be great in the offence. For them to pick up that 1-0 lead early on, can just relax their nerves a little bit. We saw them go 2-0 down in their last 2 games and have to pull that one back. And they did it once. They unfortunately just fell short in that previous game. However, Tex, Diogo, they know that 4th spot in Group A possibly sees a matchup against RB Leipzig.
Opening goal coming in this matchup. As you can see, it is GGNIP. We just obviously saw and talked about them quite a lot there, Olilito and Levy. Definitely feeling it seems. And that's a bit of a downer for Exceed. Exceed's still in that 4th place spot in that group, you know, with potential chances for Essentials to chase them down. It's danger time.
Well, that noise signals a chance.
Yeah, there was just a huge chance in the game. FC Basel against Raptors Twisted, which has got this crowd on their feet. We'll see it again. Potential in a replay. There was a goal breakthrough over in Group B. It's Team GBX Esports. They desperately need that win. But back to the storyline. Sorry, Raptors did just hit the post. 30 minutes on the clock there. Still 0-0 against FC Basel. And the other game we haven't seen as of yet is Hollywood 0, YMCA Esports 0. Remember that YMCA can still play their part in this group. Although they're not able to go through, they can still shake things up.
Yeah, we'll stick with this one then. Essentials. It's essential that they get something, isn't it? They're on 8 to 6 of GBX. And it will mean they will leapfrog that side.
Yeah, sticking with Group B as well. Obviously, lots going on in this one. You know, we're talking about JDT Essentials. They are the team that are trying to get in there. But there has been a goal at the top of the table. We'll hopefully see you in just a moment as this group, it really is quite wide open, honestly, this group. It's not one that's open to win, but a team that absolutely looks like they are putting their name in the hat is Napoli. They are top of the table right now. This will take them to 15 points, if I'm not mistaken, in that group, which it was 17, so that would definitely put them in there. That's like a done deal. We'd have them. We were saying 14. Mike's gone with 13. We're like, it's in there. Actually, technically, yes, he said 9 and 10, didn't we? But we'll let him off that one.
Someone's called it, really. Someone's called it, really, Napoli.
Did you? Did you call it?
You have them top of the table.
I did.
I said Team Hullet Ninjas in Pyjamas, and they are doing a great job at the moment, aren't they, over Exceed? It's a battle between Napoli and Team Hullet Ninjas in Pyjamas. I'm going to just welcome, I know it's under some matches, Aggie has joined us then, just to chat through the last 2 fixtures of today in Group A and B. Aggie, everything still up for grabs here in these 2 groups. It's looking likely that Group B, Napoli, Team Hullet Ninja Pyjamas are going through. as we get a penalty in what I was then about to talk about, Essentials and JDT GBX. Well, a nice cushioner there for them.
Yeah, I mean, Group B definitely wide open, still everything to play for, and this is where we get to the stage of the competition where it's really exciting. Every team has everything to play for, and we will start to see those emotions now. We'll see the feelings, because we'll see winners and we'll see losers. It's what it's about.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, as well? If you're coming all the way over here to Saudi Arabia and you get out in the group stages, no one wants to get grouped. Not the best way to go out. Well, Tech still chatting, being vocal, isn't he? There, this is a story we've been building quite a lot, though. Hollywood, YMCA. Aggie, you've been impressed that Hollywood have found something, found a second gear in day 2.
I mean, it was now or never, really, and they still have a lot of work to do, and they still need a lot of results going their way. But they have to win this against YMCA. But I think it shows great mentality from them that they managed to still be in the run after, let's say, a poor day 1, let's be honest. So they still have the opportunity, but obviously out of their hands right now.
Yeah, really poor day 1 for Hollywood. I think we're okay in saying that. Brandon, you've got your eyes on a couple of games?
Yeah, just be focusing mainly on the Group A games, to be perfectly honest, Rachel. FC Basel 0, Raptors Twisted is still 0. This game is an attack on the main stage. Oh, how have they missed that one, Hollywood? With a huge chance to try and get the breakthrough. And the only other game, that is on my mind is Team Footwiz against Fnatic. That one is still 1-0 to Team Footwiz.
In this game, Hollywood, we know Mark's here in the next 2 tournaments. E-Nation's up next as well. Do you think that gives him advantage, representing his country, Australia, where he knows what went wrong here in these group stages? Do you think that's something that they can take over into that national side of play?
I mean, you say that, I wonder what it will look like at the E-World Cup. You know, he's had multiple days here in Saudi Arabia to get things around. But on the opposite side of that, how much of a boost would it give you if he did get to the knockouts? He did have a good run in the knockouts, because then you can experience those emotions of group play.
I guess, Aggie, it gets him familiar as well with the whole setup here, doesn't it? When other new players come in and they just come to the venue for the first time, they don't know how it all works. He's been sat, hasn't he, as he gets a goal in that pod for a couple of days already.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about settling in, and you need to do it fast. And experienced player or not, this can't be an excuse on day 2. Now you have felt the crowd, you felt the atmosphere, and yeah, as we've seen here, Hollywood just getting that crucial lead, and at the same time Footwiz beating Fnatic right now, which means that it might come down to these 2 teams here.
They play each other. They play each other in the last game of the day. Fnatic will take on Hollywoods. Yes, there's goal difference, and there was a head-to-head game when they beat them yesterday, so goal difference it will be. We're going to have a little bit of a deeper look into that.
Anyone ever think we'd be sat here on day 2 saying there's a chance that Fnatic might be on their way out? I mean, there's a lot to do, right? Did you think that was a conversation we were having?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you from all the noise at the atmosphere.
Did you think there was ever a chance on day 2 that we'd be thinking that Fnatic may be in the conversation of possibly going out? Still a lot of FIFA to play though.
I'd say you asked me from day 1, I'd say they didn't have their best day, but the way they started this day seemed like that they were definitely getting over that edge. But right now, I mean, it's not looking too bright. And which position do you prefer to come into? Just winning a match as Hollywood is doing right now, or do you prefer to be in that position where you don't need to win the match but just to draw?
I hate to burst everyone's bubble. There's a 7-goal swing between Hollywood and Fnatic. So, I'll be honest, I don't think it's happening.
It's got to be a lot of goals, yeah.
-6 as it stands for Hollywood, +1 for Fnatic right now.
Never say never.
They've got to win all their matches and Fnatic not get any points, and then they will go obviously above them on 13 points. So that is the only way they get to do it. Yeah, well, Alex is drawing our attention as the halftime whistle goes on the matches in Group B, and in particular to that JDT GBX game.
It's the bottom of the table clash, and we were talking about, you don't want to take each other out, but it's looking like that's happening. Essentials are getting absolutely hammered in that game at the moment, so that's gonna really open up, especially with the fact that it's looking like TG and Napoli are going to sort of stretch themselves at the top of the table now. So it was opening up their chances. Obviously, XC were in 4th place before this one, but with JDT, you can see it's now 4-0. So they've been banging goals in for fun, which is maybe something they're going to find their feet, find their rhythm, but have they left it too late? I'm pretty sure they have.
Yeah, it's getting really close in Group B. It's getting so exciting. It's all change once again. The final 3 spots keep changing every time we play a match here. It's going to come down to match number 10 in Group B. It's out of 3 teams now. Can't wait to see who goes through. It's always unfortunate we say bye to 2 of them. Basel and Raptors here. Pause for Basel. Have got the lead. Again, not something we've seen that often over the local side. Lee?
I was just thinking that actually puts Exceed in trouble, right? Because that would put JDT 1 point behind them, I believe.
Yeah, exactly, it would. So they kind of a bit of a leapfrogging, bit of changing of the guard at the bottom of Group B. So this one has been finished now. I say we've still got 20 or so minutes, but Essentials Gaming got a lot of work to do in that one.
So we established that for Hollywood, they need a 7-goal deficit to try and make their way into that top 4. However, we saw Fnatic, Diogo said, we have to make sure we get a positive result against FUTWIZ because of that head-to-head. Now, should points level up and we see FUTWIZ and Fnatic maybe on that level points, well, it's then going to go down to goal difference because the head-to-head's gone both ways, which then means one of those teams, FUTWIZ or Fnatic, should RB Leipzig have the day that they had yesterday today, that is what we will have in that round of 16.
It does come down to it, because if Hollywood get their 3 points, they're on 10. Fnatic, they're losing at the moment, they say on 12. 10 to 12, well, that's 2 points. If Hollywood win, they are still going over Fnatic. So that's as close as it is. It will come down to who wins that game and who goes through. Which is pretty exciting, guys. We have a bit of drama, don't we?
We should be clear. There's no clarification on who they're actually going to play. It's only the players that have told us this. They are absolutely nailed on it. A plays C and B plays D, but there's no official paperwork, as far as I'm aware, that we have been given.
Exactly.
There's also still a chance that
always got to cover your back, mate. Always got to cover your back.
There's still a chance the Raptors might not even top the table today. 2 losses now on the bounce as it stands, with 8 minutes left to be played, and how different their day 2's ended. Spoke about ending on a bad run of form going into knockout play. It's never going to fill you with confidence, is it, Aggie?
Definitely not, and I actually believe that Basel and Raptors will switch position after this if the result stands. And Basel, I mean, a team that we may haven't spoken enough about, relatively new players coming into the scene, but the esports team itself have great traditions with the likes of the Stranger and Nicolas.
Another great example on that, Aggie, as well, of 2 players that haven't had brilliant individual seasons, quite lowly ranked in Europe, but when it came to this 2v2E club, all eyes on it, that's where all their energy's been.
Well, let's just see out this game then, shall we? 8 minutes left on the clock. Can Hollywood keep this lead? They're looking just to make it a little bit more comfortable, but YMCA not giving up yet. They didn't give up a little bit earlier, did they, as well, when they played Fnatic?
Oh, remember, they don't want to just keep the lead. They've got to score more. They've got to get scoring here. I mean, obviously don't want to let YMCA bang one in. The Finns have scored quite a lot of goals, but they need to get scoring here.
There's 1 minute left in Team FUTWIZ Fnatic. Fnatic off screen have got the last attack of the game. If this stays as it does, or if they bag a late goal, which they did do, I'll tell you that for a fact. Fnatic have just equalised in the last kick of the game. I think now we'll see it live as it went in. They had a corner, the ball bounced around on the edge of the box. I'm not sure who bagged the goal, Tex or Diogo, but regardless of it, it puts them on 13 points, and it puts us back to that original point about that too big of a goal deficit, really.
Well, that does exactly do that, Brandon. It means now Hollywood, if they keep this in the 88th minute they're on, they get 3 points, they take it to 10. Fnatic got a point there, 13. 3 points in it, the goal difference is big.
Added time to come in.
The local fans are willing Raptors to a point as well over Basel, but the whistle's about to be blown in this match.
Full times across the board. Hollywoods, they will pick up 10 points on the board, but yeah, as we said, we've tried to build the storyline and it just can't happen.
So a couple more matches still being played out.
Yeah, this one being JDT. Essentials got one back, but that is not actually the main story of the group. So obviously, while JDT, that's going to put them on, what, 9 points with obviously a clear win here. Important part of the rest of the group is the fact that obviously Exceed pulled one back against NIP as well, which will almost certainly secure Napoli at the top of the table, I believe. I think they won their game overall.
Yeah, this is the one that Lee was talking about.
I think it was 1-1. I think Napoli drew in it.
This is the match that Lee was just chatting about there. So another point for both these teams here, for Exceed and Team Ninjas in pyjamas. So that's pretty much it for all of these matches. Fnatic and FUTWIZ, 90 minutes on the clock. Just playing out added time there. There we go. So share the points as well. All the matches have been finished then in match 9 for both A and B. Aggie, as you heard him, he is sitting here there. And we just saw Nick Sneb kind of sighing off camera just to lose 2 vital points.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're going through, and that's what matters. I mean, they haven't had their best day, but now they can breathe, and I think that's what matters. They can prepare for later today, just watch who are they going to play. Obviously still have one game left where they want to finish on a high, but at the end of the day, just get the job done and be ready for knockouts.
I think there's something else on that game as well, to your point, Rachel. It's like it's a UK matchup, isn't it? It's a UK FIFA matchup. They don't often get that opportunity to go head-to-head that regularly in normal competition. So maybe disappointed in a 1-1 draw, but look, as Aggie said, the bigger picture is group's done, we're in the knockout stages, we've got one more game to maybe test something out, maybe go up an extra spot or two for the seeding and come back fresh for tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. Well, without talking about Group A, let's talk about Group B then. The Malaysian team of GBX, they had a great match. I think they got 5 goals in that one. Did get one back for Essentials. They got one back in the end, but that does now put them up to 5th. They're still holding on. Can they claw back a couple more points in their last matchup? Then they can get themselves into that 4th position. 4th position is what all these teams are looking for. Team Exceed at the moment hold that 4th and final position. GBX, though, the ones to keep your eyes on as we go into the 10th and final matchup. And I believe Spen is down there with the boys from Malaysia to chat to them about that amazing result, Spen.
Yeah, it's a really big game. Now I'm here with the guys from JDT GBX. You just played Essentials. It was kind of like a knockout game in a way. If you didn't win it, it was probably not going to be enough. Likewise, if they didn't win it, they can still get 11 points, but I don't know if they can go through. You guys can definitely still go through if you win out this last game. How are you feeling?
Yeah, we're feeling quite confident. Obviously, a big result against Essentials. Now, we're playing against one of the best teams in the tournament, but after this game, I'm pretty confident in what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, your form has been sort of up and down. You started off with 2 draws yesterday, then you went and got a loss, draw, loss, but today, a win, loss, win is a little bit more positive. You've put 2 wins out of 3, so what's changed?
Yeah, I think even yesterday we played quite well, but we just didn't have that cutting edge. I think, as you can see, 2 wins today instead of 3 draws yesterday. We're turning the draws into wins, and now one last game, one last knockout game for us, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
What would it mean for you and the organisation and the country you're representing as well to get out of this group and see how far you can go?
Yeah, obviously we're trying to do better than last year where we finished in the top 16, and it would be probably a big achievement for us, especially for these 2 new guys we have here. So yeah, it would be in the world for me.
Well, listen, you've put yourself in a great position. Fantastic work so far. One more big game to go. Good luck. Essentially, as he says, it's a knockout game. If you can get the win, or they can get the win, they can progress. Do not sleep on JDT GBX. Back to you guys.
such a tongue twister, isn't it, Sven, that name? But yeah, they were just saying there, it will mean the world to them if they can not only get through, but then get better than the round of 16, which they achieved last year. We've got to wait, though, to see if they can get through. It is between themselves and Team Exceed. We'll have a look at that now, exactly how many points both those teams are on. Let's just draw your attention to Group B. That's what we're currently chatting about. So it is between Team Exceed 11 points and GBX 9. So Exceed now play Crow and GBX play Ninjas in Pyjamas. Tough matchup for the boys from Malaysia, Brandon.
Absolutely, and I think what they were saying with Spencer is like people don't realise how little opportunity you get from Asia in these tournaments when Europe takes up so many spots. You know, it's an ongoing conversation always. So when you get to it, as I think Rich was touching on it yesterday, to be in the best 24 teams in the world is still a ridiculous achievement, let alone extending your tournament for an extra day or two. And the GBX guys were doing everything they can to try and book that top 4 place in Group B.
And we've mentioned the Hollywood story. 10 points, they could get 13 and equal Fnatic and Footwiz, but the goal difference is a bit too much, Alex.
Yeah, the goal difference is a massive ask there in Group A. As we see Hollywood on 10 points, they are going to be up against that with 5 goals. It's a big deficit in FIFA, especially over one leg. If it was 2 legs, maybe, just maybe, you could argue it. Where I think the attention is in that group for Fnatic and Team Footwiz is ultimately just about who is going to finish in that 4th spot. Because we look at it, we've seen Basel manage to overtake Raptors and take that 1st spot. That 4th spot in Group A, we're going to have a massive, massive team going out in the knockouts at 16. It's going to be Fnatic or Footwiz.
We've talked about Group C, it's obviously the group of death, so I guess wherever you finish in that top 4, you're facing a tough team, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, but the Fnatic and the Hollywood, that's a match-up as well for me. And it would be even more heartbreaking if Hollywood were to get the win over Fnatic, be on the same points and still not go through.
And you look back on what? One piece of defending for Footwiz, they don't concede the 90th minute, Hollywood go through. That's just how cruel FIFA can be sometimes.
Finest margins. Aggie, you must have had experiences when it comes down to goal difference before in your career?
Yeah, many times, and it's very hard, and you're trying to maybe pause the game a little bit more than just once, just to make sure that everything is going your way. There's so many things you need to be aware of, but I actually think that it's doable for Hollywood if they catch Fnatic off guard, because I know the goal difference is big, but it's a head-to-head. So whenever Hollywood scores a goal, you also take a goal from Fnatic, which means it's 3 goals if my math is not totally off the break.
Well, they played in round 5 yesterday. It was a 2-1 win for Fnatic against Hollywood. If we're looking at that as one of the head-to-heads.
But we're obviously discussing what they're discussing.
But to be honest, I'm confused.
I don't know what they're discussing because
maybe. Can we try and send
theorists out there?
Can we try and send Mike or Spencer down there just to put a microphone in, and maybe then we can hear the conversation, or maybe speak to Diogo.
Texas there now. It's just they're all going in there.
And just to see or hear what's going on there. We're just chatting around it, but sometimes it's nice just to shove a mic in there. You don't have to ask any questions and just see, but they all look a little bit perplexed, especially Denman there.
We might be getting an insight. I can see Mark LeBel on the move.
Well, yeah, it's great. It comes down to 13 points, possibly a piece. Ben is there. I can see him behind me. He's about to pop into shot and possibly get a little bit of an insight, a lowdown. Spen,
you want some scurry?
You got a lowdown for us, please.
Look at us.
Yes, I'm trying to understand what's going on here. So they're having some sort of conversation, guys. Can you tell us what the chat's about?
Basically, if we lose and Footwiz lose, there's a 3-way tie, and we're trying to work out what happens.
So you got obviously head-to-head comes into play. Then you got goal difference. What that?
And then Footwiz would have lost to us, beat Hollywood, and Hollywood would have beat us. So it gets a bit techy.
So it is getting a bit confusing. Do you have any interpretation on this?
I would need to beat them 2-0. We're through.
So that's what you think it needs, a 2-0 win. So he's got a big smile on his face as well. He's confident.
Pressure on me. If they lose, that's a choke from them, not from us.
These guys are called Hollywood. They're going for the Hollywood ending tech.
Yeah. You're trying to get something out of me, Spencer. I'm not giving you anything.
Let's go to Ethan. He might give me something then. Ethan, where do you guys come into all this?
You're getting nothing out of me. Just 1 point. I don't want to put myself in this equation. 1 point and we're out of it.
You just need to avoid defeat. Obviously, that's what Fnatic need to do as well. And Mark's kind of right. Hollywood are in the sort of driving seat here, because if they go and win their game, am I right in thinking if they win, you avoid defeat, Fnatic go out?
I genuinely have no idea.
No one knows.
We don't know what's going on.
There's a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot of different, permutations, as Richard likes to say. But ultimately, yeah, Mark is right. From the Hollywood perspective, they've done so well to get themselves in this scenario. They've just got to concentrate on winning, apparently 2-0 or more against Fnatic. And then we may have a little bit of maths to do. Anyone seen Carol Vorderman? Back to you guys.
Well, Spen, I actually think we need Richard Buckley, the referee. Surely, if anyone knows what's going to happen, it's him. Where is he when we need him? I don't know. Anyway, he's not here on the couch, but we will bring you updates as and when they fly in. But Wiz have a really tough draw as well, Brandon. They're taking on Raptors.
Yeah.
But Raptors are on the back foot, lost their last 2 matches.
But isn't it ridiculous that we sit here, we start today with Hollywood with 1 point, and now they're going into a game where they can still qualify for top 4. This is why I love a bit of group play sometimes.
Richard Buckley sat where you are right now, Brandon. He said it with chest, and he went, Hollywood are going to win 4 out of 5 games today, and they're going to qualify.
Yeah, they wanted, didn't they, a lot of points on the board, and they're pretty much there over the line. They have to win 2-0. Is that a big ask against Fnatic now? Fnatic know what they're after, Aggie?
I think the pressure is on Fnatic right now. They've been at the qualification spot now and is still there, while Hollywood didn't expect to be in the position, like they couldn't allow themselves to expect that after their day 1. So they're just coming in now, and they know that they just have to win the match, while Fnatic, they are feeling the pressure a bit more. I think it's going to be very interesting.
Lee, Fnatic under pressure, surely that's where Fnatic like to be, under pressure. They perform when the pressure's on.
Yeah, but for me, why are they discussing it? Like, they shouldn't be, it shouldn't be in their minds. Like, if we lose this 2-0, then they might go through. Like, for me, as a player going into that final game, should just be, we're going to win. We're going to win. Like, we're at 1 point, it doesn't matter, we're through. But the fact that they got those permutations going in the back of their mind while they're playing a game is pretty scary. Like, get your focus on, just win this game and you're done.
So for me, what you're saying, that for me plays into Hollywood's hand. They're like, right, cool, 2-0, that's it.
He was just sat there chilling, watching them all figure it out. He's just sat there with a smile on his face. Not quite sure where he got 2 goals from. I think he needs to look at the table again, but he looked pretty confident.
Yeah, well, you've got to be confident. Well, the referees, I hear, are actually discussing that. So maybe we'll get clarification, because apparently they're not sure either. If they're not sure, the players aren't sure, we are definitely none the wiser up here on the couch. That's why I've got a bit of a delay before we do get into these final matches in groups A and B. Well, it doesn't go with the greatest confidence there, Brad. We don't really know what's happening.
It reminds me a little bit like last year, FIFAe Club World Cup. There was a group, wasn't there, with the Saudi teams. I think it was Ma that was playing, wasn't it? And it was literally just like this. It was literally like this. They were there in the booth and they were going, are we through, are we not? They were waiting for anyone to wave them down. Hate to say it, we're going to be in that position potentially if Hollywood win 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0. But it's only one game of FIFA. It's a lot of goals. It's a big ask.
Yeah, maybe we can just get playing and then we can figure that out as the goals go in. We're hoping there's a lot of them. Well, that's the story, isn't it? We're going to talk that up all day in Group A. We can have a little look at Group B. It's a bit more clear cut there, isn't it? Well, Essential Gaming's.
I mean, let's just say clear cut. It's actually probably more open, if anything.
Here we go. Leah's here.
Yeah, for Group A, it's on the knife edge. Effectively, Hollywood have to win and something happens. Whereas this one, yes, JDT have to win, but we could see Exceed fall out. As the games get ready to go, you can see the crowd get excited. Essentials, I mean, in theory, could go through. It's still a goal swing against Team Exceed. This group at the end is wide open. One thing that it is looking like it's safe is obviously Napoli, TTNAP and CrewMX. They look like they're all through. It's all about whether Exceed can limp through on 4th.
Yeah, and it would come into play again, wouldn't it? If Exceed lost and Essentials won, that would mean they're both on 11.
Alex, do Exceed qualify?
Yes. They are
confident.
What's going to happen is Exceed are just going to grind their way through into that top 4. Come to knockout FIFA tomorrow. Oberon, Virgil, they're going to perform. That's right.
Right, I'm not sure when the matches are starting. Hopefully, imminently. Yeah, I can see them kicking off. And the first one that is kicking off is Fnatic taking on Hollywood. We've got to go there. We've got to see if the boys from Australia can get these 2 crucial goals and not concede to Fnatic. This is where we're going to save for probably quite a lot of this last round of fixtures.
Yeah, well, they played yesterday in this exact group matchup. Result finished 2-1, but if anything we've learned, Alex, 24 hours in FIFA esports is a very different story.
Well, we know that Tech says he's not a massive fan of these single leg games in the group stage and the way that they ran, but in terms of the entertainment value and what we get to see, we have twists and turns every single way. It also gives the opportunity for someone to not have a great day one and still find their way through in day two, or vice versa, which we have seen from a few teams here and there. Fnatic though, they know what the job that needs to be done. Tech Diogo have been here time and time again, maybe more so in the latter stages of the tournament in Knockout FIFA. For now, it's just about getting into that top 4 and finding out who they play in round of 16. Hollywood, though, Mark and Negatron will be happy to see that they were looking down and out yesterday. They've come through today so far. They've picked up victories. They've played well. They've backed their ability, and they've given themselves a fighting chance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's going to be exciting, so do stay with us to see who's going through from Group A, as we get a couple of goals, I believe, in Group B, Lee.
Yeah, first goal of the groups coming through. Get it on your screen here, and it is a pretty big one because we were talking about the chances of qualifying. Well, it is TGNIP stepping up the gears as the tournament gets towards that knockout phase, and for GDT, GBX Esports, they needed to win that game and they are trailing now. And in fairness, they're up against probably, arguably, the toughest team of the group, but there's more goals.
This featured matchup very quickly. Aga, if you're in this game, how difficult is it from both sides mentally to try and get yourself locked in?
It's such a hard task, especially for Fnatic, because which foot do you stand on? Do you try to go for the win, or do you try just to protect a draw? And luckily for them, it's an experienced team. Maybe.
Legal chance there for Hollywood. What a save in the end. It's a corner to Mark and Nazar. What a day they've had. They beat the chart toppers in Raptors' Twisted Minds. Here's a highlight from a game that we have missed. It's FC Basel. We know they're already through. They're looking to cement their way forward in a better position in this Group A.
Yeah, Group A then. Well, Fnatic, Hollywood. No one's broken this deadlock here. They want to get 2 goals. They need to start doing something sooner rather than later. Footwiz as well. Let's just actually start. They're a little bit behind, aren't they? Against Twisted Raptors. We heard that start because the fans went wild. Right, let's stay with this one. Fnatic.
Well, as it stands right now, it's been Hollywood. They've been able to create a couple of chances, Alex. It's certainly warning shots fired at Diogo and Tex.
Yeah, for sure it is. Hollywood have that freedom, knowing that they have to win and they have to score goals, so they can just be more attacking in their play, looking to send extra numbers forward. Fnatic will be a little bit happier to just be patient, have the ball 5-10 minutes here and there. Tex and Diogo, that chance, if it does come, I'm sure they will be very grateful if they can, as we see it out with Mbappe, the fancy feet, shot counts, so reverse elastico. It's so difficult to see Tex and Diogo in that area because what they can do, it's hard to read.
Certainly frightening, isn't it? Corner to come, and this is where they scored the all-important equaliser, which put them on 13 points against Team Footwiz in their last matchup. What can we see here? A bit of player movement off the ball, which in towards that back post, 2 hands on it from Edwin van der Sar.
Well, we did get a bit of a moment, didn't we, over in the Essentials Napoli. We thought we were going to break the deadlock over there. Ninjas in Pyjamas then, GBX. Exciting game happening over there in Group B.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about the fact that they need to keep themselves in it. It's all about whether Exceed lose their game and whether GDT can win their game. Well, at the moment, it's looking like things are getting a bit better for them. We're getting on your screen here. You can see it was the deadlock finally being broken. Hullet started off well. A lucky rebound when things are going to go your way. That's where you need it in the final game of group. So 1-1. They're still going to win that game though. Still a long way to go.
Yeah, well, we're same with this one, but obviously we'd quite like at some point, if you can, jump over to Essentials and see how they're getting on against Napoli. Big match again for them. If they get the 3 points, they're level with Exceed. Yeah, see what can come from this free kick then for Fnatic.
Yeah, well, they play it short, trying to find something, but in the end, it was completely done wrong. We hear there's been a goal in a Group B game. Lee, which way has it gone?
Well, this is going the way at the moment. Against the plan. Against the plan. CroMX bang on in. And Alex, I think you and me had Exceed. Rich had Exceed top of the group. I know that for sure. No, you had Napoli, right, didn't you? Yeah, this is not going the way. I mean, it's going a great way for GBX. They've still got to win that game, but that is a chance. That is a chance. 1-0.
It's going a great way for Essentials as well, Alex, isn't it? The fact that Exceed are down, if Essentials can get something here, puts them in the driving seat.
It does indeed. However, there's been a bigger story.
Oh, it's just happening everywhere.
A bigger moment.
It's all going off. I mean, this is why you love groups, right? This is the end of groups. This is what you absolutely love about it.
Well, Napoli looking to end day one in the perfect form, but someone else looking to rip up the script is the Aussie boys, who will be making all the noise if they can qualify through. It's Hollywood that lead by a goal to nil just before the 40th minute mark. Lovely step overs into an exit, and it is Hollywood that lead by a goal to nil against Fnatic.
I mean, such a good timing for them to score that goal as well, just applying the pressure and just buying themselves time, because according to Mark from Hollywood, he only needs one more goal. So having an entire half to get that, just putting all the pressure over on Fnatic now.
Do you think as well, Aggie, going in at half time, this for Fnatic, are Tex and Diogo looking at each other and actually saying, we need to switch on?
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit surprised when I saw the players at the briefing just before. They seemed really calm, considering that one of them will go out. Yeah, they definitely have to turn up now.
Big equaliser there, Exceed. Tournament lifeline effectively for them. Puts them a point currently. We're only at the halfway stage, so long way to go still.
Long way to go. Exceed then, good point for them just before half time. Lots of the matches then are in half time at the moment. Basel have just got started again, as have Fnatic. So Basel leading YMCA 1-0, and Fnatic, this is the story we have been following. Hollywood, they think they need 2 goals and not to let Fnatic score at all. We're waiting to see if that has been confirmed by the powers that be here in the arena. I think they need 1 more. FUTWIZ though still haven't got anything in the game between Raptors. So this all eyes on these 2 teams. Worlds apart, aren't they? Fnatic, obviously based in England and the UK, and Hollywood based over in Australia. They know each other well though, these guys. They're round and about the circuit. Mark came, didn't he, to London as part of that Dire Wolves squad. Team of the Season Cup last season. Had a good run there.
Yeah, and also on the flip side, that Farai Nazar, he played in this tournament last year in Copenhagen, was grouped. He won't want to feel that same feeling again. He was playing for Order Army, I believe, at the time. So both have experience in this FIFAe Club World Cup. They need goals though, and they need them desperately now.
Was that a goal for Raptors? No, they're just cheering their side on. Right, should we go over to Group B and see how things are going on? I believe that Essentials have just gone another goal down, which is not great for those guys. They're playing Napoli.
Yep, stretching the lead here. Well worked goal. Get themselves 2-0 up against Essentials. Make themselves safe. Looking to try and top out that group as well. You know, they came into today with 11 points. They were already pretty safe sailing, but yeah, it's been a great performance from the Italians in that group and coming out on top. More goals to come though.
We do have a goal elsewhere. I feel like this is a team that we haven't spoken all too much about, and they've just gone on a rampage today, and it is FC Basel. They are 2-0 to the good against the already down and out YMCA Esports. Basel have overtook Raptors in Group A. They've just quietly gone about the business, Aggie.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, taking the first place there, while Raptors just applying the pressure with the home crowd on FIFAe, who's still in a shaky situation, so to say.
I think there's a couple of stories folding as well in Ninjas in Pyjamas and the Exceed games, because GBX, they have to win, don't they? And Exceed really needs a win as well. There's a lot of different calculations happening over there. So let's go Ninjas in Pyjamas though.
I think,
possibly just put that nail in the coffin as I was speaking about
like
them.
you sensed it, Rachel. You sensed it coming, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. The tournament's starting to liven up now because we're in this final group stage. But as you can see, it is unfortunately Team Holland NIP, well, fortunate for maybe them, that scored an absolute banger with the man Ruud Hullet himself into the top corner. That means GDT, they have to get back, they have to get an equaliser, and they have to get goals. YMCA banging in a goal there against Basel as well.
Back on this one, obviously we're getting a few more goals around the grounds here. That is 4 goals now, but we don't need to jump there because it looks like it's done and dusted for Napoli over Essentials. Yeah. Essentials will remain on 8 points, it looks, as we approach 70th minute mark in that game. So it comes now down to GBX and Exceed for that final position in Group B.
The biggest problem for these players is they don't know the scores. All they know is their game. For Team Exceed, they're 1-1, all tied still, scared for their tournament lives. Fnatic are in the same position. They don't know what the score is in the other game. For all they know, Raptors, with the crowd cheering like this, could be hammering FIFAe. FIFAe could be winning. They have no idea what is going on. So they just have to try and focus and play their own game. But at the moment, you can see there's a bit of trouble. Is this a penalty? Was that just a foul?
Off topic here, very quickly. A team from England that are looking to ensure they're in the top 4 is Team FIFAe. They lead Raptors, looking to get the revenge on the home side by a 0-0. We'll give you the goal as soon as we can see that.
That would mean, as it stands, Group A, Hollywood would be knocked out. FIFAe go away from Fnatic, and if RB Leipzig do what they need to do in Group C, Fnatic, RB Leipzig, round of 16.
Perhaps a revenge game, it was a repeat game, that's for sure.
So Team Ninjas in Pyjamas just got another one. So again, 70 minutes, 3-1 over GBX. It's looking like their campaign may come to an end during this matchup. They're currently on 5th at the moment. So this is the FIFAe matchup as we were just discussing this. FIFAe then taking the lead in that one. Napoli, we know what's been happening here. 4-1 though, just concede against Essentials. Essentials getting a possible consolation goal there as we approach 80 minutes on the clock. The big story though still is between Fnatic and Hollywood. They're currently on a little bit of a pause, probably just assessing their options, the dying moments of that game. Not long to go to decide all of these. So Fnatic and Hollywood, we can jump back into that when we get a moment. 15 minutes left for Hollywood to get another goal. Fnatic to break through and cement themselves as round of 16 competitors.
Especially for their past history in this tournament as well. What, FIFA 20 was a top 4 finish last year, top 8, losing to MGCF, the Brazilian side. They've got rich history in this FIFAe Club World Cup. I mean, look, as far as Tex, he won the tournament in FIFA 19.
Who would you want to face out of these groups? I've got to be honest, I'm looking at the teams of Group C and D, especially obviously the likes of Leipzig. I don't think they fear anyone here right now, especially in a team that could come out with
Landers doesn't.
No, he doesn't fear anyone.
Celebrations you're seeing are directed straight at Team FIFAe in their booth. There's shushes, there's all different celebrations going on. And this is the goal that they scored. Somehow just got it down. But you can hear what that goal means to that lot. They are into the knockouts regardless. And they'll be getting louder and louder as we go into the knockout stages.
I've never seen such a small group of people make so much noise. How arenas with 40,000 people and it's not being that loud. Deafening stuff.
Yeah, there's about 50 people just supporting this one local side, which is so amazing. Team Ninjas in Pyjamas, Alex against GBX, having a great end to their round-robin group stages.
For JDT, GBX, that is going to be their tournament here and done. They'll be disappointed not to see themselves make it into the knockouts like they did last year. However, yesterday, 3 draws just didn't quite get those wins over the line. We said how draws at times play a massive factor whether you make it or not. And for them, that will see them out. Back to the game now. Fnatic Hollywood. Hollywood need to grab at least 1 or 2 more, Rachel.
I feel like the fans are chanting at them now that their teams through need more goals. I'd love to see some more goals in this match. Just made it exciting either way. I don't really care which way it goes. I just want some more drama from this Hollywood ending.
Yeah, well, let's see how it plays out. 3 minutes left. As it stands, it will be the 2 UK esports organisations that are in the same group going into the knockout stages here in Riyadh. Here's Fnatic now to tie the match up. It's a bit of a coming together at the back. And Hollywood will be able to pick up possession again. Full-time result between Footwiz and Raptors Twisted Minds. And here's a big chance now for Hollywood. Last kick of the game. Are they going to score? It's a massive save from Edwin van der Sar. What a save that one could have been.
The goalkeeper movement there from Tex is outrageous. Playing that bluff game with the attacker and just moving him across. Easy as you like. Consolation goal for JDT, GBX. As we said, their tournament. 2 minutes of added time, it's a big ask.
They're still on 2 goals, right? So there's no way they can get 2 goals back in 2 minutes. As quick as I'd like to think they could be. The home fans delighted. And you know what? They've got another 3 tournaments of this. You know, Saudi Arabia represented, Abu Bakr obviously in all 3 tournaments. We're going to be getting this all week long.
Yeah, I believe we've still got a couple of moments still left to play in the Fnatic Hollywood game. Not many, it's seconds. That's all we have there. As the crowd are loving it, stirring that. But what's cooking? Right, let's get back to this then. This is the last chance for Team Hollywood. Pressure's on these boys. It's now or never.
Yeah, added time of 2 minutes looks to be up, and it looks like Hollywood's E-Club World Cup could be up or not! What a moment that is!
The Aussies have jumped up in their seats. They are banging on their console table there. What have we just seen? Fnatic can't quite believe it. We can't believe it. We don't know what is happening.
It seems like he thinks that's it. Mark and Einazar think that a 2-goal win is all they need.
This is it for that game. They said they wanted 2. We don't know, but I have asked if we can get Richard Buckley down there amongst it all. He's in his referee outfit. Can he give us an update? This is something we haven't seen for a while. Brandon was saying last year we had a similar encounter. We want to get some clear confirmation of who is going through. This is drama. If you're just joining us, it was between Fnatic and Hollywood. They're now both on 13 points. It was going down to goal difference. We weren't quite sure. I'm going to now go down to Rich. Rich, what are we seeing? Tell me the story.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm live on the stage. I've been looking at the permutations. If Hollywood won by 1 goal, they would have been eliminated. If Hollywood won by 2, they go through. They scored 90th minute. It's over. I mean, this is it. Look. The Ogo Tex desolate. They don't know what to do. The permutations are in. Fnatic are out. This is absolutely insane. Everyone on the stage is sort of bewildered. We don't know what's happening. Hollywood go through. The Hollywood story has been scripted. It's been directed. And the co-stars, the leading actors, Mark and Nagidi, fair play, because you have done something that I didn't expect, that no one else expected. Unbelievable scenes. This is the FIFAe Club World Cup, live in all its glory. I mean, guys, take it away. Back to you, Rachel.
Well, as it stands from Richard there, he said that Fnatic are going out. Hollywood, maybe at that Hollywood ending we've all been bigging up. They got 2 goals over Fnatic. Fnatic didn't score any. That's exactly what they thought was going to send them through to the round of 16. Mouths are open here. We're all a little bit in shock.
Go and find out what's actually happening.
Well, Spencer's about to do that. Spencer's about to do that for us, because in the table I'm looking at here, Fnatic have dropped down to 5th. Spen, you're there, you're amongst it all. What on earth has unfolded? What's Mark saying?
Rachel, we were literally just trying to work out ourselves whether we're through. We're trusting in the maths genius of Richard Buckley. We believe the Hollywood boys have squeezed through. I'll say it again, with a Hollywood ending into 4th place. They had to win 2-0. We just spoke about it before the game. You said with a smile on your face,
that's what that
we're going to have to win 2-0. And just what you did.
Look, I came in, I did not expect this today. We ended on 1 point yesterday. We were terrible yesterday, but today's different. We won 4 out of 5 games. Should have honestly won all 5, but it was amazing from us today.
Everything you said needed to happen happened. You said to Mike earlier, we need to win 4 or 5. You won 4 or 5. Listen, to get out of your groups after opening games, 5 games with 1 point is mad. But you can't count these boys out, particularly Mark, who's qualified for all 3 events over the next 3 weeks. You've still got a chance of winning all 3.
Of course, and I've never been grouped or switched in my life, so it's just meant to be, I guess.
He's never been grouped or switched. That's an unreal stat. Let's cross over here to the Getatron. It's not a one-man team by any means. This is an unbelievable unit that somehow found a way to get through. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling over the moon right now. Like, honestly, there's so much emotions rushing through my body right now, and it's just so good to go through.
So obviously you've done the objective of sorting it out. You know, a bad day 1, changing it for a good day 2. But day 3 and 4 are ahead of you. What's the target?
Honestly, like, we're just going to live through this now and then see how we go, like, regroup, just gather our emotions again. We're just so, like, excited to go through, considering the circumstances, and yeah, we'll just see how we go through for tomorrow.
You guys are from Australia, but you're called Hollywood. What's the reason? Is it because you play with Hollywood ending 90th-minute goals like that?
No, it was a Pro Clubs team created originally, and we just took it to E Club and then used it. So,
well, I think it's got new meaning now. It's a scripted, you could say. But well done, boys. Fantastic stuff. What stat that is, by the way, he's never been grouped or swift in his life, and that record is still going. They ain't leaving. Back to you guys.
I love it. He knows how to get out of groups, doesn't he, Mark says. Amazing story unfolding here in Saudi for this Club World Cup. The Aussies have just knocked out the Englishmen. It's kind of what's happening, isn't it, in the Ashes as well? Anyway, let's not talk cricket here. Let's stick with FIFA esports. Mike is standing by with the Raptors, who've been flying high. Mike, how are they feeling after finishing all their group stages?
We just talked about the heroics there, maybe one of the biggest collapses we've seen. How about a team that's been consistent from day 1 to day 2? How does it feel? Congratulations, you guys are advancing.
Thank you very much. قاعد أقول لك إن ألف مبروك على التأهل. من اليوم الأول إحنا مستوانا كويس. وش تقدر تقول عن اللي سويته اليوم؟
أول شيء بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله تأهلنا من مجموعة جدا صعبة. الصدق إن كان طموحنا نتأهل بالمركز الأول، لكن الحمد لله راضي عن مستوانا خصوصا اليوم الأول. ممكن اليوم كنا تعبانين شوية عشان كذا ما قدمنا المستوى المطلوب، لكن المجموعات مرحلة والأدوار الإقصائية مرحلة ثانية تماما. نتمنى دعمكم، ننتظر دعمكم بإذن الله أن نفرحكم إن شاء الله.
So basically, he's thanking everybody that came here. We're so happy to be qualified from the group. We wanted to qualify at the top of the group. Today we weren't as good as yesterday. The players were a bit sick, but group stage is one stage and it's done. The next round is going to be a new tournament.
And coming into this tournament, we talked about you guys being ones to watch, but we didn't necessarily think that you'd lead the group and so forth and so on. Do you feel that the team was like maybe underappreciated, underrated? They went under the radar. They didn't get the respect they deserved. You could make that sound a lot less words.
Sure. يقول لك قبل البطولة كنا متوقعين العيون علينا، لكن ما حد كان متوقع إننا نتصدر مجموعة. وش تقدر تقول يعني؟
بالعكس احنا كنا متوقعين ان نؤدي اداء نفس اللي شفتوه افضل. سخنا جهزنا للبطوله بالشكل المطلوب. كنا نلعب ضد افضل الانديه في العالم وكنا نؤدي اداء جدا ممتاز، فكنت واثق ان مستوانا راح يكون ممتاز زي ما شفتوا، وباذن الله راح تكون الادوار الاقصائيه افضل بكثير.
So at the start of the tournament, we were ready. We believed in ourselves. We started and prepared very well for the tournament. We played against top of the top in the world, and we were good at it. So we came into the tournament believing in ourselves, and the players are saying that you will see a much better version of Twisted Minds in the round of 16.
Well, even better. I love to hear that. I know Spencer's sitting by. He's got more competitors to talk to. I don't know who Spencer's with at the moment, but I know that he's posted up somewhere. Oh, he's actually behind me. Perfect. There you go, Spencer.
Yeah, I'm just behind you, Mike. We haven't actually had a chance to talk to CroMX yet because there's a bit of a language barrier, but we've done a bit of work off camera. Let's see if this works. They've got through in their group, by the way, with 13 points. So I'm with Divine here. So, listen, you made it through. Well done. What was your goal for the tournament?
Bueno, nuestro objetivo es salir campeones, es el máximo resultado. Y yo creo que eso tiene que ver mucho que ir por el máximo resultado permite dar lo mejor de uno mismo.
Basically saying that the only thing to aim for is to be the best, and to be the best you've got to beat everyone. That has to be the thing you aim for, but they have to be at their best if they're going to do it. That's Espanol. Hablo Español. Back to you guys.
Chatting to the Mexicans like you do. I love that, Spencer. Obviously, I don't know, well, actually maybe he does. He's been on holiday recently. Maybe he went to learn some new language on his little break. Well. I don't even know where to start with unravelling what we just saw in Group A. If you're just joining us, Fnatic, I am gutted to tell you, are out of the competition. They just got knocked out in their final match to Hollywood. We weren't quite sure of all the permutations. Apparently they needed 2. They were after 2. Look at the clock. They got it in dramatic fashion. Aggie, tell me about the heartbreak that Fnatic and the fans of English esports are feeling right now after that.
It must be surreal and hard to understand also the way it's happening in the last second, but I think when they are going to reflect on it, it's not the last game here where they are losing and going out of the competition. It's between all those 10 games they've been playing and haven't been playing up to their standards, let's be honest. And they brought themselves into a position in the last round where they had the opportunity to go out, and that's what happened. So heartbreaking for them, but also there can only be one winner in the end.
Alex, it was even more dramatic, the fact that we had that pause as well. 90 minutes have been played, we're in that additional time. About 40 seconds have been played. We said, we think it's done. We'll just go back to it because they're on a pause. And then that happened.
Yeah, I'm sure Fnatic thought, that's it, we're probably just going to be done and dusted. But they kept it alive. Negatron and Mark, they just said, we're going to lay that ball into the box. The beautiful thing, Lloris just turned his man with ease. To have that confidence in yourself, knowing if you miss this chance, that's it, your tournament is done, you're out. I can't imagine the emotions that them two have right now. The only thing that they're going to be thinking about tonight is who they've got coming up in that first round of the knockout. But for now, celebrations.
And this could have knock-on effects. Don't forget, Texas here for the World Cup. But that's not for another, 9 days? He's going to be sitting, dwelling on that, just stewing on it? That could have some negative effects on his tournament later on.
Well, I'm sure it will, especially today. He'll have to kind of just regroup from that, won't he, if he comes back and plays, like Lee said, in a few days' time. Well, that's confirmation then of all the groups, A and B, after 10 rounds of fixtures. So Basel kind of went under the radar, finished on 21 points. Raptors are through with 18. FUTWIZ and Hollywood are through on 14 and 13 points apiece. Fnatic finished on 13 points, but it did go in terms of goal difference and head-to-head in the end. They sit in fifth place and they're out of here, as are YMCA. 4 great points they managed to get. Group B then, Napoli, 18 points sends them through, as 16 points allows Team Hullet Ninjas in Pyjamas to make their way through to the round of 16. CroMX, we heard from those guys, 14 points, delighted to make their way through to day 3. Team Exceed then, they clung on, didn't they, I'm going to say, for dear life on 12 points. Had a bit of a up and down couple of days for them. We do say goodbye though to JDT GBX and Essentials Gaming. Wasn't to be for those two teams. Brandon, quick word then on Exceed. They managed just to claw their way through, didn't they, in the end?
I mean, the Exceed story's still on. It's still on. You know, if they go and win in the knockout stages now, no one will be thinking back to this group stage. They'll be worthy champions, but it's going to be a mountain to climb. They are through though, top 4.
Basel, quick word on those guys. They kept going under the radar. Oh, sorry, so we're still on there. He's very attentive here. He's just going to want our rubbish. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens, they are great. We said that. They're so great at just helping us whenever we need them. It's so lovely to be here in Saudi, and they're really treating us well. Well, let's have a look at that. We just saw that. Come on, FUTWIZ, looking good. We saw that a little bit earlier as well. Great support from them. They are through. Yeah, anyway, let's just go back to what we were speaking about. Basel went under the radar, didn't they, Aggie?
Yeah, definitely not anymore. They will be one of the teams to watch now after that performance, and a big club with a lot of history. So yeah, really looking forward to see them in the knockout.
Well, let's move our conversation then on to a little bit later. We go off air and then we come back again at 10 to 8 to see these two groups, C and D. We're looking for a Riders comeback, I'm going to say. Riders Atletico Madrid, they are wanting a comeback. It hasn't gone their way. They're in 4th as it stands in Group D. Well, that is as tight as it could be there. 4 points separate the top 4. Well, guys, Aggie, Brandon, Lee and Alex, thanks for keeping me company and helping me through that little bit of maths that I had to try and figure out there. That was one way, wasn't it, to end out Groups A and B. Hollywood, a Hollywood ending from the Australians. They make it through to tomorrow. Well, come back then and join us in a few hours' time. We get to do it all again, this time with Groups C and D. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you then.